Mashallah, I will get my virgins!
What's up, everybody? Ooh. That's awesome. That's what happened when Barron Trump found out that they put a $10 million bounty on him. He decided to go full Android and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? I did see another cool video, but wasn't really going to get into it too much. I want to thank everybody who's here. There's Bella chilling. What's up, Lady Bama? Good to see you. What the F's here? How you doing? Jonathan Marcus is here. None of your business. S.E. Gatlin's here. Yeah, and Shadow Wings is here. Good to see you too. That's right. We do have, we'll talk about. We had a great show last night. I want to thank everybody who was here, all the people who donated, who got us to that first of ever call-in show. It was awesome. I thought it went great. I thought it went away with no hitch at all. I thought it was good. That's what I thought. I don't know, but this is me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And what's up, D-God Sarmi? What's up? How you doing? Thank you so much. Dorothy from Albuquerque. Well, thank you for being here. Jet was saying, I wasn't born a slave. I have no masters. Yeah, I do know the truth. Well, thank you. Great Emo Warrior. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Congratulations on defeating those idiots down there in Australia. So I do have a quick video we're going to play. There was a solar flare today, so we're going to watch the solar flare dude talk about it briefly, and then we'll get into the news. What's up, Doc? How you doing? And there is a goal, like there is every night, for every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms: YouTube Super Chats, Rumble Rants, becoming a member, gifting a member on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Twitch, Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, Super Tips, along with Locals coins. You name it. When we hit 100, we add an extra hour. For each additional 100 that comes in, we add another additional hour to the show. And then if when we hit 50, we activate the Bellavision camera, unless somebody donates 25. And if for some reason tonight we hit 200 again, we will have another call-in segment. I think that's what we're going to do. Whenever we hit 200, we will do a call-in segment for at least an hour. Unless we hit more than 1 hour, then we'll just keep doing it. If people want that, or if they say they don't want it, we'll do whatever. So let's do this. Let's get into the solar flare, man.
Good morning, folks. Welcome, observers. It is Tuesday, August 25th, 2026, and today we've got several items to hit. We've got some weather notes on storms and temperatures, got a cosmological discovery that plays directly into the missing matter question, we've got stellar activity on Betelgeuse, and we have also got space weather. The last 24 hours on our star saw a sharp uptick in solar flaring X-ray production from the central sunspot group.
Right,
the largest
Observer
of those
Ranch.
was an M6 event that occurred just a few hours ago and appears to have produced a CME towards the Earth, central area flash and pop. Here is the X-ray flux showing the uptick in solar flares, 5 M-class eruptions in about 12 hours. Satellite coronagraphs aren't updated yet. This just happened, so we may be coming back to you later today with an update on the solar blast. Taking a quick look at the typhoon, it has reached the southern Japanese islands and is charging westward before diving south towards Taiwan in the second half of the week. Forecasts still aren't sure if this one is heading there or ultimately swinging back towards the coast
Hey,
of
Miss Mo,
China.
how you doing?
We'll have eyes on it. Nearly 200 degrees of temperature differential on Earth yesterday. Hottest temperatures in Iraq nearing 120 degrees Fahrenheit, while in Antarctica, the lows dropped beyond -70. Over 190 degrees difference there. Excellent science up next, showing that early galaxies had a lot more small stars than they thought, meaning they're actually 3 to 4 times more massive than anticipated. Sounds a lot like the missing matter to me from a cosmological perspective. It's one thing to find something new, but when that new thing contradicts the existing paradigm that is already under assault from the latest observations, it matters a lot. Top story today goes to Betelgeuse. There was a dust production micronova event that dimmed the star several years ago, and the speed with which it has rebrightened caused many to suggest it was actively flaring in the wake of that dimming event. That is fortified here by the presence of bright spots, active regions, and remember, in the wake of these tiny nova events, the surface of a star should be super flaring regularly as it reorganizes. Folks, time to get a jump on your survival tribe. Join solarkillshot.org, the only place where those who know what the sun and earth are doing can meet and plan. Currently, observers are meeting up virtually and in person almost every day.
So did he change his stuff? Now it's no longer Observer Ranch. Now it's Solar Kill Shot. Did he change it? Let's say I didn't know. I must be slacking. Hey, look at this. We got our first donations of the evening from Karen Manning. Oh, that was loud. My grandson was playing with the volume buttons again. Yeah. What's up, Finch? Good afternoon to you, too. Mismo, good to see you. Kelly J, great to have you here. And Karen Mannings, thank you. Let's see who got that gift. That means we are 94 away from adding a first additional hour and just 44 away from Bellavision. Well, thank you so much for being the first. His ex-wife must have got the ranch. I'm wondering if something happened. I thought he was able to stay there, but it seems weird that now it's called, instead of Observer Ranch, now it's called Kohler. I don't know. So we'll have to see. It is crazy, Doc. Oh my, I'm honored and ever so grateful, blessed to be here. Well, Doc, that must have been who got it then. Yes, D God's Army. The God's Army. Received a gifted membership from Karen Manning. So thank you so much for being here and welcome to the JimSomniacs. And thank you, Karen, for giving the gift of happiness. Yes. Oh, love it. Oh my, Godspeed. Well, it says Army. I don't know. Yes. So, all right. Let's get, so we saw this, so let's go. I thought, is this not? I thought there was a solar flare today. Huh. Anyway. Oh, well. All right, first news story of the evening is there was a whole, yes, you're very welcome. There was a whole heap of people getting arrested. All right. So ICE has set a record in July with 50,000 arrests. I know we kind of talked about it last night, the big weekend, but the July numbers are crazy. Yes, please like and subscribe. That's right. Like and subscribe. And per ICE, some illegal aliens arrested in Virginia, Maryland have rap sheets for murder, rape of a mentally incapacitated person, attempted murder, robbery, and illegal possession of a gun. MS-13 member. All right, got all these people. Look at this guy. Boom, boom. Another one. All right. ICE has quietly carried out one of its most successful operations in agency history, resulting in 1,300 arrests in a 14-day span in the states of Maryland and Virginia. You know, ICE confirms to Fox News that a suspect arrested by police in Loudoun County, Virginia on Thursday for selling fentanyl to students near a high school that had overdoses is a Salvadoran illegal alien who was caught and released at the Texas border. That's crazy. Released at the Texas border. Alan Sparks says, hey, y'all, think a robbery may be incoming. Well, I hope so. I hope so. I love those. They make me so happy. So he was selling fentanyl at a high school. Yeah, 50,000 arrested, but who is counting? I want it to be 500,000 arrested a month, personally. That's what I think we need. We need like 500,000 a month. That would get us to about 6 million a year. So that would get us to about, I don't know, 24, 25 million by the time Trump leaves office. That's where we need to be. So yeah, this guy was caught at the Texas border during the Obama administration, had a deportation order since 2024. He's charged with distributing fentanyl within 1,000 feet of a school, being held without bond. Deputies found 100 fentanyl pills when they searched his home. They searched his home and found 100 fentanyl pills. That's insane. That is just insane. Just insane. I'm having still having massive issues with my sound going down. So if it happens, just tell me, and I'll turn it up. I'm trying to monitor as much as I can. They only come here to sell drugs. That's right. That's all they come here for, is just to sell drugs. Drugs. So the Loudoun County Sheriff said that they ID'd him as a dealer connected to a bunch of overdoses. Hey, what's up, Regine? Thanks for being here tonight. DHS says despite getting a deportation order in 2024, the Biden DHS encountered him a few weeks later in Virginia, and they just let him go. The Biden DOJ just let him go. Hey, watchers, Raid, thank you so much, everybody coming over from Robert Gavea. It's great to have you here. You are so very welcome. I just would ask if you would just stick around for a little bit, maybe hit the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel. This channel, we're really, you got raided. That's awesome, Destroyer of All Trolls. Thank you for coming. From Rob's live stream. That is great. Thank you. What's up, Dan? Good to see you. Off label. Hey, what's up, Rich? How you doing? Did you get the message about Saturday night, Rich? I talked to now my brain is frying about your partner's name. Simple Dave. Yeah, Simple Dave. Got your message. I can pop on if you want. Okay, cool. You need to start with the H-1B visas and deporting them. I recommend starting with Infor Systems Limited, 22,000. Yes, definitely. Davey. Yeah, Simple Davey. Yeah, my brain is like being weird. What's up, Mama Pillow? Good to see you. So yeah, if everybody who's could just, hit the like and subscribe, stick around for a little while, check out the show. We're trying to grow. And when this channel hits 10,000 subs, people, we will do a 24-hour stream. It will be amazing. I promise. Or your money back. And on this show, we give a money back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, we give me all the money back. Yes. What's up, Les Paul? Great to see you. Gina Hansen, thank you for the jewels, for the treat. Dealing on school grounds, that's a big deal. It's not like selling some Lucy's. Yeah, selling fentanyl. What's up, Just Rhonda? Great to see you. It's kind of crazy. So this guy right here, he's been deported before, and the Biden administration knew about it. And look at he just blended right in at the school. Because he looks just like, a school kid. Will you actually do one unlike that FFS person? I will do it. When I hit 10,000 subs, I will do a 24-hour stream. I always keep my words. There's two things. I only got two things in this world, my word and my balls. And I don't break neither for anyone. He looks 40. He looks pretty old to be in school. Jim, don't say that. Some people actually give money. What? No, man, I hope they denaturalize Ilhan, find and recoup the money she embezzled and drop her broke, dusty ass back in the shithole of the country. I do too. I really do. So yeah. So please hit the like. Please subscribe. Please think about becoming a member. So Border Patrol arrested him on May 3rd, 2016, near the Texas border after he illegally entered. He was released on bond. Under President Trump, ICE is targeting the worst of the worst. Nearly 70% of ICE arrests are illegal aliens charged and convicted with crimes in the U.S. That's what they do. Oh, thank you for the 2 jewels, Gina. You'll be liable. Yeah. I just got a gifted membership. Yes, you did. Gifted memberships here are great. Remember, 8 U.S.C. 1324 makes it a crime to help illegal aliens. Yes. Don't forget about the call-in segment of the show. Let the watchers know about it. Well, yeah, the way it works here, too, is we have a goal where we go an extra hour for each $100 in donations we get. So the show's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Unless we get 100, then we go another hour. And now we've added that if we get a second extra hour, so when we get to 200, we activate the call-in segment where I put the phone number up. People can call in. We can talk about stories and different things and get to know each other and just have a conversation. Screw the worst of the worst, deport them all. That's what I say. SpaceX announcement. Yep, they're going to put billions of dollars in Louisiana. Louisiana is going to be great. We need Trump in New Mexico. They have them here. Yes, get them in there. Get them in there. Get them in there. Every single time. Every single time it is. Every single time. You know. So here's ICE arrested nearly 50,000 people last month. A staggering 70% jump since February. That's right, 70% jump. Because movies nowadays use too much CGI, which makes them ugly to look ugly. Terminator 2 Judgment Day still has the best cinematography. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is a great movie. I really, really like it. I must say. I really, really, really like it. I really, 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 really like it. Is that a song from like the Spice Girls? I guess it could be. So in the month prior to Trump taking office, monthly immigration arrests hovered around 8,000. Newly released figures show ICE arrested 50,000 individuals in July, the highest single month total so far under the second Trump administration. Hey, what's up? Thank you for the raid, Brenda. And Kofi 2A, holding it down. How you doing over there at the kick? Yes, keep praying for those ICE officers. Yes, we need them to be safe and secure. The sharp rise shows the administration is continuing to push its mass deportation agenda. Well, that's good. That's what they were elected to do. Earlier this year, federal officials shifted away from high-profile operations because Mark Wayne Mullen is a pussy. Turned back to lower-profile enforcement. Yes, we want to be very low-profile. Data ICE provided to the Deportation Data Project at the University of California, Berkeley, and later analyzed by the Associated Press, shows that 49,571 arrests took place in July. That tally represents a 15% climb from the 43,000 made in June and a 70% surge from February. Yeah, if you want to be my lover, you got to deport everyone. Trump got voted in for it, and he better start doing it now. Yeah, they deported 50,000 in July. I just saw announced. Yeah, we talk about it right now. Right now. During Trump's first year, totals expanded as the administration relaxed constraints on where and whom agents could arrest. Yeah, you can arrest if they're an illegal alien. You can arrest them. That's it. December totals had more than 40,000. Arrests dropped to 30,000 in February following public outcry and criticisms over the 2 shootings in Minnesota. Yeah, it's amazing, right? They fired Kristi Noem, replaced her with Mark Wayne Mullen, and all of a sudden they got rid of Greg Bovino. Peace be upon him. You know, the guy who is doing all the work, and stuff happens, right? Stuff happens. It is very nice. So, after holding relatively flat for several months, the number of individuals arrested surged to 43,000 in June and then 49,500 in July. During his confirmation hearing, Mark Wayne Mullen pledged to keep ICE out of the news, hinting at a potential softer approach. Oh, keep them out of the news. No. SpaceX will be located on Pecan Island. Oh, Pecan Island. We love Greg Bovino. Yes, we do. We love him. So, highlighting their central importance of the administration's goal, Texas and Florida counted for nearly 20,000 arrests in July. Both states have made an extensive use of 287G cooperation. The latest surge in arrests coincides with the agency's expanding its workforce by hiring 12,000 new deportation officers, which is great news. Great news. Great news. Great news. Great news. Great news. You know. And another great news part of that is that one of the people they got is ICE lodges a detainer for the illegal immigrant with a lengthy rap sheet after allegedly jealously fueled killing. Yes, with all these deportations, you wonder why over 800,000 left the workforce. Crazy, right? You're closing in on 70. Don't use my balls anymore, but I made the deal. I protect them, and they don't make me scream. Oh, there you go. There you go. What's up, Chaotic Good Barbarian? How you doing? Great to see you. Keith Ellison was trying to get Castro extradited to Minnesota to face charges. Did Abbott tell him to pound sand? Abbott did tell him to pound sand, but now there is, I don't know if we'll get to it, there is supposedly the Justice Department is talking about prosecuting him themselves. So the guy who shot that Salvadoran guy that hit him with a shovel or whatever, the MS-13 guy. Federal immigration officials are asking authorities in Miami to honor a detainer, which they will. Florida honors detainers. After an illegal alien with a lengthy criminal history is charged with fatally shooting a man on the street in an alleged act of jealousy. Jealousy! No, I'm thinking of tragedy. I can't believe Dolly Parton is dead. She was a legend and a pure, beautiful soul. Even Trump said something in her honor of her death. Yeah, Trump ordered the flags to be lowered to half staff in her honor. It's a shame. It really is, man. They're dropping like flies, man. In other news, the woman that wrote the song "I'll Always Love You" from the Bodyguard soundtrack died, Dolly Parton. And I will always love you. May she rest in eternal peace. Yes. Oh, he has a rap sheet a mile long. Really? Prior convictions in Florida and Michigan for drug trafficking, illegal possession of a firearm, as well as arrests in New Mexico and Tennessee for aggravated assault, theft, and resisting arrest. Wow. Why was he still running around? That's what doesn't make any sense. If he had all these arrests, how is he still running around like nothing happened? That don't make a lot of sense. How he's able to still be running around like that. Yeah, I've never heard of anything bad about Dolly. Yeah, as far as I know, Dolly was a good one, yeah. Trump offered her the Presidential Medal of Freedom in her first term. She declined, didn't want to get political. Is that really political, though? I guess. The dangerous criminal would have never been our country had there not been for the Biden administration releasing him from ICE custody in 2023. Raul Abile would be still alive if it wasn't for Biden. That's right. Biden killed this guy. It was because of Biden this guy's dead. So Dominic, a Cuban citizen, was socializing with the witness on the evening of the slaying when Abale appeared and the pair began arguing. The dispute turned physical when Dominic started punching and slapping Abale. Dominic allegedly pulled a gun out of a fanny pack and opened fire, striking Abale in the stomach. Abale was taken to the hospital where he died later. Wow. Dominic fled the scene, but he was arrested the next day. He admitted to killing and said he was jealous of Abele's relationship with the witness. The witness reportedly told investigators that Abele was not armed and did not initiate the fight. Wow. That sounds like, could be murder. It's murder. Yeah, definitely murder. Definitely murder. Dolly saying, "I'll always love you" decades before Whitney. Yeah. It's usually the best celebs who die prematurely. Dolly Parton should live a bit longer. I would trade De Niro for her and Bruce Springsteen for Hayden Panettiere. Wow. As far as I'm concerned, never mind. I don't want to get political. Then there was this other one with 4 migrants were arrested for killing
illegal immigrants now accused in 2 separate murder cases in Florida, one in Jacksonville, the other illegal immigrants now accused in 2 separate murder cases in Florida, one in Jacksonville,
you guys
the
hear
other
it?
Broward County.
I can barely hear it.
Madison Scarpino's in our Southeast Bureau takes us through it. Madison, hello.
Hey, Bill, well, let's start in Jacksonville, where a local community member tells us that the 18-year-old victim has been here in America for several years. He was a legal refugee, but he was found dead with multiple gunshot wounds near a middle school last month. And now 4 illegal immigrants are charged with his murder. The guy all the way to the left is just 16 years old. The next is 17, the others 18 and 20. An ICE source tells Fox they don't know much about how the 16-year-old got here, but 2 of them entered the U.S. as unaccompanied children. 1 entered with family, and the source says at least those 3 all came here during the Biden administration, all coming from Honduras, Cuba, and Nicaragua, according to Jacksonville authorities. Now, what we don't—
These are four 4 young white men who just happened to wander into the country unknowingly. They didn't know they weren't supposed to come in here, and they didn't know you weren't supposed to kill people.
Don't know much about what led up to last month's killing. Police reports reveal the victim and a few of the suspects were talking through WhatsApp days leading up to the murder, but authorities say they didn't know each other before that. And we did reach out to the Jacksonville mayor and several other city officials for comment on the case and have not heard back. But just this morning, Homeland Security posted on X about a separate murder allegedly at the hands of another illegal immigrant in Florida. This one happened near Miami earlier this month. HSI says this man was allegedly caught on surveillance footage chasing down his roommate with a machete, eventually stabbing and killing him. HSI says he too was here illegally from Nicaragua, and DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullins says if it were not for the Biden administration, the victim there would still be alive, and he is vowing to deport that suspect.
Wow.
Bill.
Wow, that's tough stuff. Again, Madison, thank you. Southeast Bureau. We'll watch it.
That's right. That's what's happening here. So he has criminal history spans 4 states and a litany of offenses, includes a conviction for a weapons offense and everything else. Let's see. Here's this, there's another one, another illegal alien criminal.
Meanwhile, let's change gears. A Fox News alert. DHS is now confirming moments ago there was a suspected ringleader accused in a plot to carry out a mass casualty attack on the UFC event at the White House last Sunday is an illegal immigrant. Abraham Alvarez, a 31-year-old from Mexico, who came here as a child, overstayed his visa, and then allowed to stay under the DACA program during the Obama administration, the so-called Dreamers. Former FBI investigator Bill Daley joins us now. Bill, this is a hideous plot. It looks as though there's some type of military in the background. It seems as though they've had a few phases to it, and now we find out an illegal is behind it. What's your conclusion?
Well, I kind of summed up with probably three words, chilling, stunning, and certainly gravely concerning. Brian, you just indicated that this individual, Alvarez, who I believe went by the handle as the Shepherd in this online chat through this encrypted app, was here overstaying his visa. We know that in 9/11, there were at least 5 or so of those hijackers who were here in the country who also overstayed their visa. So what have we not learned since that time? Brian, there are a number of different facets to this story, and a couple that kind of jump out at me, which are really significant. First of all, these were not just kids. These weren't kids fantasizing about it, sitting down in their basement playing video games. These were people who were from 19 to early 30s who got together on an online chat. And at this point, there are 5 who've been arrested. There are apparently about 23 people in total who are on this chat, and they all came up with this sinister plan to attack the White House and the UFC event.
So here's what we know. They wanted to go out and start with attack drones. They also wanted to stage a fake protest. And then once the attack drone hit and panic would ensue, they were going to storm the gate and then also have snipers up high for when people tried to flee, they'd be gunned down. Does that strike you as something sophisticated?
It certainly does. And at this point, is also suggesting that this was a low-cost, high-impact type of plan. If you look at it, the cost to assemble perhaps drones, which you buy at a hobby shop, the weapons that were acquired, which we believe were already acquired through some photos that were released by the DOJ in some of the indictments, is that this was not something where you could kind of follow the money, as we would say in some larger terrorist plots. These were people kind of operating kind of below the radar, if you will, and coming up with a plan that would perhaps, if this case, Brian, if it didn't happen at the UFC event, these people could have gone on and be planning something at another event, whether it's a sporting event or some other political event. So to me, this went from aspirational to ongoing kind of operational aspects of this, because they were already acquiring some of the equipment needed. They had photos that they were looking at that were gleaned online where they're actually marking out, places where the snipers would be located and where the crowds would exit and where we'd have kind of a funnel point. So there was a level of kind of, let's say, sophistication. These were, amateurs, but amateurs are as dangerous.
That's right. So even the attack on the when they tried to attack the 250 celebration on the 4th of July, that was illegal aliens leading that attack. And we got this. You guys might have remembered this. ICE confirms that the Florida momfluencer arrested for pouring hot wax on her children is an illegal alien from Cuba. So even everyone, it seems, they're all illegals. We can't get enough illegals. We got just illegals committing crimes right here. This is crazy. Homeland Security confirmed the Miami mother arrested for pouring hot wax on her children and setting fire in her kitchen is an illegal immigrant from Cuba. If you haven't noticed, this first story is about illegal alien crime. We're going to talk about a lot of illegal alien crime. And of course, right after this story, we're going to do the top 25 in the past 2 weeks that have been arrested. Well, white people can be commies. Yes, they can. Crazy. It is crazy. So DHS said that they lodged a detainer against Melissa Campos Sanchez. She goes by Dirty Sanchez on Instagram. She entered the country illegally in May of 2022, and she's accused of child neglect, child abuse, and arson. It's crazy. It's crazy. Jim, didn't you play in hot wax as a kid? Is it really arson if nothing burned down? Her apartment, it wasn't her apartment, and the apartment started on fire. So Joe says it's all lies. Illegals don't commit crimes. Well, it's crazy, right? Sounds like Albuquerque. Sounds like somebody took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. That was my favorite part of all these things. So this Cuban illegal alien is a menace. She's charged with child abuse and arson after she poured hot wax onto her own children, then lit a fire in her home. If it weren't for the Biden administration's reckless open border policies. Yes, definitely. Do not look this woman up. Do not go looking for her and Googling Dirty Sanchez. You won't like what you find. Don't do it. If it weren't for the Biden, we wouldn't have this problem. Criminals like this arsonist woman would have never been let in our country. ICE has lodged a detainer with Miami, and hopefully they'll honor it, which they probably will because it's Florida. So authorities responded to her Miami home on August 16th to a call about an intentional fire set in the kitchen. She was taken into custody by the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. A mental health evaluation was conducted before she was booked into jail. So I wonder if they did what's known as a Baker Act on her in Florida. They uncovered 2 social media videos posted to her Instagram. One of which was showed her dancing around the kitchen, scantily clad, before setting articles of clothing on fire. Another video showed her pouring hot wax on her daughters, both one age 6, one age 3. Her eldest daughter told authorities that the 2 sisters watched as their mother started the fire, threw a glass mug on the floor while dancing, and then extinguished the fire with a bowl of water. Yes. Yikes. Jay Schwartz is late, but don't worry. Don't worry. There's time. Oh, yeah, we got this story. Yes, we got this story. We got that story already. We got that story already. So the defendant's estranged husband told investigators they contacted the sheriff's office about a week earlier about concerns for his children, citing her recent suicidal behavior. This is crazy, right? It's craziness. All right. And we got this. This is the illegal alien roundup. It's been 2 weeks since the last roundup. All right. These are the top 25 cases that have come up to light. We got Union City, North Carolina, illegal alien killed by police after prowler call. You got Harris County, Texas, illegal alien arrested for murder of a teen. You got Miami-Dade, murder. New York City, another death. Bucks County, girlfriend murder. Limestone County, Alabama, shooting into a home. Fairfax, Virginia, Dallas, Marion. We got them. Look at boom, boom, boom. We got so many. Look at them all. Look at all these poor white men. This is crazy. Look at them. Illegal alien killed by police after prowler call. Cop killed illegal alien brandishing a gun during a home invasion in North Carolina. Illegal alien from Mexico was shot and killed by police during an attempted break-in. Well, maybe he was just there to do work on the house. Maybe he wasn't like actually a criminal. Maybe. I doubt it. Definitely looks like Albuquerque. Yeah. Sounds to me like a religious thing or postpartum. Not guilty. Let her go. Oh, okay. So he was shot and killed by police. Monroe Police Department was called at a woman who said a suspicious man was trying to force entry into her home. Officers responded, encountered a person matching the description on the street. He pointed a handgun at the officer and refused commands to drop the weapon. Well, that's basically like saying, yeah, I want to be shot. Yeah, she's definitely on drugs. Yeah, Chair Force, that guy's going to jail. That guy is going to jail. He can't do what he did. They say illegal aliens commit less crime than U.S. citizens. I don't care if they weren't here; those crimes done would be a lot less. But I don't believe it. I mean, maybe if you take like the total number of crimes committed by illegal aliens and the total number of crimes committed by U.S. citizens, maybe they're less. But when you take this thing called per capita, they are like wildly disproportionate. Like they're like right there with another section of the community that, that 13% of the community that does 50% of the crime, they say. What percentage are illegal aliens? And they're committing 40% of the crime. So basically, you've got people that aren't in this other community that are citizens. It's only 10% of the crimes. It's crazy. So he was identified as Javier Montes, a 33-year-old Mexican. Oh, look, he was in the Mexican army. So the Mexican army is invading us. Wow. So this was sister calls for justice after brother killed a Monroe police encounter. This is the story. Like, oh, my brother was killed, but he pointed a gun at the cops. Yeah, they need to check her immigration status too. Now, Harris County, Texas, a legal alien arrested for the murder of a teen. All right. This guy, Jose Gregorio Blanco Moreno, has been arrested for the murder and the shooting of a 16-year-old.
New at 10, a teen's death was first thought to be suicide.
But a witness's changing story piqued the interest of investigators who say the version they first got was a work of fiction.
ABC 13's Luke Jones joins us live with how it all started and the twisting end, Luke.
Yeah, investigators say the suspect first told them he was woken up by the victim after shooting himself and that he actually tried to save the victim's life. Well, it took detectives about 2 weeks to work out and gather enough evidence to show that wasn't the right version of events. Tonight, he's charged with murder, and it turns out he was already a wanted man.
Already a wanted man.
A shattered balcony door, a dented front door, the second-floor apartment on Ella Boulevard, where investigators say 5 people were living, but one of them turned up dead. 16-year-old Howell Rafael Hernandez Castro, killed by a single bullet, the medical examiner ruled. As for how it ended up lodged in his body, the story kept changing. Deputies called to the apartment the afternoon of July 27th, where they found the 16-year-old's body and his 21-year-old roommate, who was also dating his cousin. Investigators say Jose Gregorio Blanco Moreno told them the victim had shot himself. This search warrant revealing his changing statements. First, that he didn't hear the gunshot and was woken up by the victim. Then that the gunshot woke him up, and he rose to find the victim holding his gun. After waking up a roommate and unsuccessfully applying CPR, court documents say Blanco Moreno claimed he unloaded the gun and hid it in a kitchen cabinet. August 12th, he was arrested and charged with Hernandez Castro's murder.
He says you had the gun in hand. You claim he shot himself.
Investigators say Blanco Moreno's roommate contradicted parts of his account. They also couldn't find gun residue on the victim's body and later determined he was shot at long range.
There was no stifling, and the angle of the bullet made it essentially impossible for the person to have shot himself.
ICE confirms Blanco Moreno is a Venezuelan citizen in the country illegally. They say he was arrested by Border Patrol in December 2023, but then released with a notice to appear in immigration court.
Oh, yeah.
ICE says he never appeared.
Never appeared. Let's give him a notice. That's what Biden did. Just let them all in. Let them all in. Wow. He was released by the Biden administration with just a notice to appear. Shocked they actually reporting on this. Yeah. Many just ignore it. Yeah. But he never appeared in immigration court. There's my shocked face. Yeah. Miami-Dade County, Florida, an illegal alien arrested for murder. Yesterday, an illegal alien, William Serrano Domenech, was arrested for the murder and firearm possession. This is the one case we talked about. This guy right here. So yeah, so this is the guy, remember we talked about it, that killed his gunpowder on his hands, I bet. I don't think we need to import people this stupid. Yeah. This guy's clearly white, you say. Well, let's see what they say. And yes, they say he's a white male. Wow, black hair, hazel eyes. Huh. William Serrano Domenech. He's already been convicted. In 2006, he was convicted of possession of a firearm, distribute more than 5 grams of cocaine base, unknown quantities of marijuana, drug trafficking, felon in possession of a firearm. Like, yeah, but he was still here because of the Biden administration. They let him stay. Now he killed somebody else. Just another white man here killing people. New York City, illegal alien blamed for the death of a mother and a child. This illegal alien killed a 27-year-old mother and her baby. Yeah, not Latino. See? There you go. You're right, Joe. Another one. Who is telling them to list them as white? Yeah, who is doing it? You know, I yet have to Ancestry. Oh, well, you know. Look like Obama's son. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yet not quite blonde. Yeah, right. That's why they always put on the court documents. I used to check backgrounds, and it's why they put it on Hispanic bad actors. Yeah. Thanks to the heart, he's an illegal alien from El Salvador, was piloting a boat when it capsized. Oh, that's right. This is the illegal alien guy who killed a mother and daughter. He'll be deported. No, just another white man piloting his boat. Yeah. Yeah, looks like the victim. It's another white man piloting his boat. And then Bucks County, PA, an illegal alien was arrested for killing his girlfriend. Look at this.
After 5 agonizing months, the family of Maria Popel says they can breathe a sigh of relief now that 27-year-old Darwin Espinal Del Cid is behind bars after an international manhunt.
Mr. Espinal Del Cid was arrested in Honduras this past weekend for Maria. But
the Bucks County DA says Popel, a beloved daughter, sister, and waitress in Telford, was last seen on March 6th, just days before her 23rd birthday.
They were having an argument because she had just decided to break up with him and had told him that.
It was at the couple's apartment on Main Street in Telford where the DA says Espinal Del Cid stabbed Popel in the neck with a sharp object.
He stuffed her into a closet, threw a blanket or a towel and some clothes on top of her after wrapping her up, and then left her to die, choking on her own blood.
Her body was found 9 days later.
A few months.
Popel's cousin says the couple had only dated for a few months, but the family saw signs of abuse and urged Popel to leave.
All the time, problem, fighting. He always tried to hit her, but she always tried to defend herself.
The DA says after the crime, Espinal Del Cid took Popel's phone with him, allegedly impersonating her in the days that followed, and booked a one-way flight to his native Honduras.
While he was down there, admitted to having killed Maria.
He admitted to it. He admitted to it. So, yeah. Darwin David Espinal Del Cid has been arrested in Honduras for the killing of his girlfriend. So he got arrested for killing his girlfriend. They discovered the body wrapped in a blanket stuffed inside. So then he fled to, back to Honduras. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It just keeps happening. Limestone, Alabama, man and detainer arrested for shooting into a home.
Accused of shooting into a home while someone was inside. It happened Thursday at a home in the East Limestone community. No one inside was hurt. Limestone County deputies eventually tracked down Juan Diego Sanchez Mendez in Birmingham Friday and arrested him. He's now charged with shooting into an occupied dwelling. He's also being held without bond on an ICE detainer.
Oh, go figure. ICE detainer, right? Mm-hmm. Oh. Fairfax, Virginia. Legal alien arrested for a woman's murder. I'm told by federal sources that the suspect arrested in Fairfax for the stabbing murder of a mother near the jogging trail in Great Falls is a Salvadoran illegal alien who was caught and released at the border by the Biden administration in El Paso, Texas. What do you say? Limestone County, that's my county. Yeah. How much money was spent on the investigation of each of these? A lot more than should be spent. And at least it wasn't a white woman or girl this time who got murdered by the illegal Latino alien. I hate to be like a person who, like stereotypes, but I would check the immigration status of her family because they didn't sound too assimilated, if you catch my drift. How many aliases can he make up just mixing his name around? Yeah. Why did a 42-year-old woman sleep with a 19-year-old illegal? It is odd, isn't it? Isn't it odd? Isn't it odd? It is odd. So they include a photo of Cedillos Campos from when he was in Border Patrol custody in 2024, courtesy of a federal source. So yeah, so here's the guy. Look at the tattoos on his neck. Them neck tattoos like that he doesn't have. If you look at the other picture, all right, this picture, you see the neck tattoos? When he was in custody of ICE, he didn't have neck tattoos. So he didn't get the neck tattoos until he got here and got, that doesn't have any ear. Look at these big diamond earrings. Huh. They confirmed that the suspect's an illegal alien. Here's the write-up. Intimate co-worker arrested in woman's killing near Great Falls Trail.
This morning, 19-year-old Alexis Antonio Cedillos Campos was taken into custody in Prince George's County. Fairfax County detectives, along with their counterparts in Prince George's County, and the U.S. Marshals arrested the suspected killer. Police say he confessed to stabbing and killing 42-year-old Carmen Lisette Puch. Police also say he's accused of dousing her with gasoline and unsuccessfully trying to set her on fire.
A mother, a loving mother of a 3-year-old little girl who took care of her little girl. Certainly, no one deserves to be treated the way that our victim was treated, and she was stabbed repeatedly.
Police say Puch and Cedillos Campos were involved in an intimate relationship. The two of them worked together at Bites restaurant in Herndon. According to detectives, Cedillos Campos and Puch met early Monday morning near a trail in the Great Falls area. The motive is still being investigated.
We know that our killer and our victim were involved in an intimate relationship with each other. We are still uncovering the many layers of motive that exists when two people are involved in a relationship.
Police say video recorded from the Bites restaurant helped them with their investigation, with Chief Davis calling it eerie to watch.
We have video footage of our suspect at the restaurant where he worked with our victim, arming himself with a fixed blade knife, taking a pair of black latex gloves.
News 4 has learned Cedillos Campos was in the country without documentation. ICE says he's from El Salvador, crossed in 2024, was arrested by CBP and later released. Here's what Chief Davis had to say when asked about the suspected killer's immigration status.
When our detectives span out and start collecting evidence and interviewing people of interest and talking to friends and family and neighbors and coworkers, they're not doing that with the immigration status of anyone in their minds. They're trying to find out what happened. So when I talk about the role of local law enforcement in America, particularly in Fairfax County, our role is to solve crimes that we're responsible for solving.
Police also say they're looking for a black sedan which may have been involved in the case.
It's a vehicle that our killer may have traveled to and from the
Take it easy,
location. So we're in the process of figuring that out.
As for the victim's 3-year-old daughter, Fairfax County Police say
It's a very good point. He did run on that any illegal alien who killed a citizen or cop or anything would get the death penalty. Whatever happened to that? Yeah, it's a good question. Whatever happened to that? It needs to happen. It really does. Take it easy, Rich. Have a good night. Yeah, Ron had posted the Chippy. I haven't done the updated one. I got a better one that she sent me, a second one, so I'm going to put it up soon. Yeah, my pup had eye problems this week. It's where I went $1,000 to the vet. Oh, my God. The vet is expensive, man, but you got to do it.
that she's now in the care of family members who traveled out of state to be with her. Reporting in Fairfax County, Mauricio Casillas. News.
Oh, Mauricio Casillas. Yes. So that's where we get. That's what we get. What do we get? We get the more illegal aliens. They do this all. Okay. So Dallas, Texas, man and detainer for beating a guard. Man and detainer accused of putting a Texas security guard in critical condition. Oh, what do you know?
Police say a 46-year-old Rosalina Lopez attacked the guard with a metal rake before trying to run off. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke with a witness who helped police. Peyton.
Stephen, Heather, and the security guard tonight is still in critical condition at a Dallas hospital. Serious lacerations to his head, and according to police, a large loss of blood. Today, we set out to find the tow truck driver who stepped in to help. Longtime tow truck driver Mike Black telling a Dallas police officer to get in his truck Saturday night, immediately pointing police to 46-year-old Rosalina Lopez walking down Northwest Highway with a shopping cart. Lopez accused of attacking a security guard with a metal rake. Black stepping in to help with the arrest after witnessing a terrifying chain of events.
He hit the security guard top of his head with a rake, and then the security guard fell down. Knocked him out, actually. Knocked him out. The rake actually stuck in his head.
Police say Lopez broke a breaker box at a Fuel City off Harry Hines, cutting off the electricity. The security guard, often stationed at the gas station, James Johnson, approached him, and police say Lopez became instantly combative, first using his fists and then the rake. The security guard deployed a taser, but it had no effect.
The guy was still swinging the rake at him.
The security guard bleeding from his head, falling in the middle of the roadway. Black used his truck to block traffic, unsure if the guard was conscious.
Yeah, he wasn't moving. I said, dude, I'll call 911. Just hang on.
The Dallas security company, CDS Protective Services, confirmed it was one of their security officers. A Sergeant James Johnson is listed on their website. Black hoping Johnson pulls through.
I'm praying for him, yeah.
The suspect, Lopez, is still in the Dallas County Jail tonight. He's charged with aggravated assault of a security officer, and he is also on an immigration hold.
Wow, immigration hold. That's right. People don't understand these immigrants are peasants who've never seen a big city in their life. They take their peasant mentality into the big city, and it doesn't work out. Did I see the Ontario Premier is talking differently today? I didn't see that yet. Judge happened. Weak prosecutors happened. That's right. Smart people don't immigrate. Yeah. You had a scare. Debris was in your Jeep's AC. It caused a fire. Campfire smoke coming out of the cab. You had your dog. Thank God the entire thing didn't go. Oh my God, that's horrible. Regine says they're not peasants. They're savages. Obstructionists in Congress and state legislatures happen. Yes, that happens too. They do. I have to say, I'm a fan of Peyton. Marion County, Indiana, man and detainer arrested for kidnapping a woman. Convicted sex offender is accused of trying to rape a woman in Indianapolis who mistakenly got in his SUV, believing it was her rideshare. So he attempted rape, level 3 felony, kidnapping, battery, kidnapping using a vehicle, failure to register as a sex offender. So this guy was a sex offender. Why was he still in the country? If you know he's a sex offender, he should have been out already. Investigators say the woman mistakenly got into his SUV, believing it was a rideshare after leaving a bar. He allegedly drove her to the north side parking lot, struck her, and tried to pull off her pants. She fought him off and escaped. Well, good for her. Investigators say video captured the gray SUV entering and leaving the parking lot. Police used the cameras and flock license plate readers to track the vehicle. Bum, bum, bum. You see, they're going to always start putting the flock stuff in there now to try to say how good flock is. In an interview, they say Hernandez admitted the woman got into his SUV and that he pulled her from the vehicle, but denied striking or sexually assaulting her. His initial hearing is set for this morning. He's being held in a jail without bond on an ICE hold. He was previously convicted of voyeurism in Ohio in 2019. The conviction required him to register as a sex offender. Just another white guy out here raping and pillaging, and says, because I'm from a former commie country and the only people who emigrated were the stupid peasants whose farm failed. Flock still has to go. They're going to keep doing it, though. They're going to keep talking about the flocks, though. Dauphin County, PA. Dauphin. 2 illegal aliens arrested for armed robbery. What do you know? You got armed robberies going on. Huh. Illegal alien armed robbery.
2 men are charged in the armed robbery of a jewelry store in Dauphin County, with Satara Township police detailing their plan in new charging documents.
Yeah, the case is, again, Zolivar Camacho Garcia and Jeremy Regalado Cuello in connection with the June 19th incident in Nepal Jewelry on Dairy Street. Police allege that 3 masked men entered the store. One was armed and posed as a DoorDash driver, while Regalado Cuello acted as a lookout and Camacho Garcia waited as the getaway driver. The gunman allegedly threatened customers and pistol whipped, punched, and kicked the owner. That owner was bound with duct tape while the jewelry was stolen.
Investigators say surveillance and license plate readers connected the suspects.
Oh, look, another story about the flock cameras working. Wow, it's almost like they're purposely doing this, telling us about it.
To the getaway car, which came from New Jersey. The 2 identified as undocumented migrants from Venezuela face felony conspiracy-related charges. 2 men are charged.
Wow. Duval County, Florida, 4 illegal aliens arrested for a man's murder. 4 arrested in Florida for the murder. All 4 are in the country illegally. This guy, Bermudez, 16, from Nicaragua. Clebar Martinez from Honduras. Daniel Ramirez Mato from Cuba. Russell Olivia Reyes from Honduras. Every single day. Yes, we saw these pictures. Yes. Always beware of the tarantula hair. 18-year-old was shot multiple times. Officers found him with gunshot wounds. He died. Crazy that a group of white kids would do that. Yeah, it is, right? It's totally crazy. Bay County, Florida, a legal alien arrested for stabbing 2 people. He stabs 2 people, 2 Burger King employees after being unable to pay for his meal. So a guy goes in, orders a meal, can't pay, and just starts stabbing away.
The attack happened around 2 this afternoon at the Burger King restaurant in the Coastal Palms Shopping Center on Navy Boulevard. Authorities say the 2 people who were stabbed were taken to a local hospital for treatment for non-life-threatening injuries. 22-year-old Shaquille Williams was identified as the suspect. He's awaiting booking into the Bay County Jail. He's charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery as of now. Williams allegedly fled the scene on foot. Nearly a dozen deputies and the sheriff's office chopper joined in on the search of the immediate area. After about an hour's search of the shopping center and the La Quinta Hotel property next door, they located him and took him into custody. The attack happened around 2 this afternoon.
Wow. So I'm very interested to know. He's a legal alien and Jamaican national. Was arrested for 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Yeah. Race B for a bad man. So a Jamaican. I tell you, he's Jamaican me crazy. Jackson County, Missouri, man and detainer arrested for roommate's murder.
And a Kansas City man is also facing murder charges after
So they say Kansas City man, but he's an illegal alien.
shooting 2 of his roommates, killing one of them. Brian Arjijo Mejia was charged with second-degree murder and assault today.
This shooting happened on Monday near 12th and Askew. A witness said he heard arguing from the suspect's apartment before several gunshots. When he asked the suspect what he had done, the suspect allegedly told him, "I messed up." He also claimed that the victims were hazing him.
And a Kansas
The victims, they were hazing him. So, yeah. So, let's see. Here's his picture. Oh, yeah. And it says, it doesn't say, no bond. Yeah. Well, they didn't bother. They didn't bother listing what he was. So Marion County, 3 men on detainers charged in armed robbery. Huh. Five alleged members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua have carried out an armed jewelry store heist in Indianapolis. All 5 were taken into custody by the Indiana State Police. They're being held without bond. But the Democrats say they were low-level criminals. Yeah. Hall County, Georgia, legal alien arrested for attempted rape of a teen. A man broke into a home and viciously attacked a 15-year-old girl in Georgia. Is an illegal alien from Mexico. Obed Reyes broke in through a closet wall from a neighboring apartment. The girl was home babysitting her younger siblings. He dragged her by the hair, punching her repeatedly, and threatened to rape her while she screamed for help. Yeah. Huh. He was just, he's just digging a tunnel. He's also labeled as a white man in the arrest records. Oh, what do you know?
You can imagine you're settling in for bed out here, and then somebody starts busting through your apartment wall in the closet, crawls through and starts attacking you. And that's what happened to a 15-year-old girl right here.
This is the picture some neighbors say is making them nervous inside their own homes now.
You're not supposed to be scared in your home either.
They live at this apartment complex on Summit Street in Gainesville. And last Wednesday night before 10, police say a man busted through the wall to get inside a neighbor's house and attack a teenager.
It's very concerning. I have two smaller children. A lot of kids are in the neighborhood, and it's very concerning.
Police say the teen fought for her life, escaped to the breezeway outside, screaming for help. Neighbors quickly called 911, said they see a man dragging someone by the hair and punching them. Officers pulled up, saw it, arrested Obed Reyes. And when they started gathering evidence, they realized how far he went to attack the teen.
It raises a lot of concerns and questions and fear.
And it's grabbed the police chief's attention. He called the teen courageous, praised neighbors for stepping in, but he wrote, "This is just the beginning. The victim has a long road of recovery ahead following such traumatic events, and we hope our community can surround her with that support."
That's heartbreaking.
Plus, police say there were two other kids in the house at the time, 5 and 7 years old. So, in addition to kidnapping and attempted rape, Reyes faces 2 more child cruelty charges.
That's awful.
This is awful.
Channel 2's Courtney Francisco live again now in Hall County. That story, when you think about it, it's just crazy. So, Courtney, police say the suspect and the teenager didn't know each other.
No, police say he rented here too, so technically neighbors, but they don't believe they knew each other. And when I showed his picture to others around here, they said they didn't recognize.
Didn't recognize him either. Wow. What do you know?
You can imagine you're settling in for bed out here. And
Yeah, it's crazy. Just crazy. White or Caucasian. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. So, and someone asked a good question here. Shouldn't apartments have a firewall like cement in between the two apartments? It depends on if it's apartments or if it's a condominium. A lot of places have different rules because a condo is technically completely different own thing. They'll usually have like a cinder block walls or something like that, or concrete. But when it comes to apartments, a lot of places just rely on double sheeted drywall, like two layers of 3/4 drywall or 5/8 drywall on each side. So that's an inch, basically you got over an inch of drywall that gives them like over an hour fire rating, supposedly. And some localities, they're okay with that. And sometimes they'll put some other insulation in the walls too. That's also like a fire stop. It's like a thicker. I didn't notice that well, maybe they had some kind of fire insulation, but I don't see it. She's a liberal. The glasses tell the tale. My apartment has a fire door. The rest just drywall and toothpick frames. Yeah. Yeah. The garden apartments built in the late 60s have a fire door. Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Anything built in the last 20 years, 30 years, they'll use drywall. Just put 2 layers of drywall, 2 sheets of drywall on each side. Yeah, they put a fire block inside common walls. Generally, firewall is only double drywall. He done said it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the way the code has been changed in some areas. It's terrible. The same goes with townhouse framing and drywall as all. Yeah. It depends on the age of the building. The laws were changed. Yeah, because it used to be that they would actually say, no, it has to be like a hard barrier. But now they said like, oh, well, if we actually put a fire on the wall, it'll take this much time. And as long as it's like an hour or more, the rock wool is fireproof, great insulation. Yeah. So Jackson County, North Carolina, legal alien arrested for hit and run. Mauricio Jesus, whatever, Sarmento, felony hit and run, the death of pedestrian James Robert Bagley. He didn't have a license, no insurance, no nothing. So, Mersucio, felonies, all this stuff. He's from Honduras, a citizen of Honduras. Yes. Race, other. So they won't even just say it's a race is other. So they don't even know. It's just some race that's unknown. Man and detainer arrested for murder. Jackson County, Missouri. Francisco Cisneros was arrested for murder, shooting a man attempting to tow his stepfather's truck. He did not admit to the shooting, only telling police the truck was stolen. The police report isn't clear if the tow was valid or not. Yeah, it's a very blurry picture. Jackson County Sheriff. All right, probable cause statement. He was transported and taken into custody. Somehow he's the real victim, right? The victim, 51-year-old Marcus Grimmage. So he killed a black man. Dallas County, Texas, illegal alien arrested for shooting an officer. The man who shot the Dallas police officer, Justin Jones, after he stopped to help, identified as Jose Pantoja Morales, an illegal alien. Jones is in stable condition. Wow. We didn't ever said deport some of them or only the worst. We said deport every single one. That's right. Marion County, Indiana, illegal alien arrested for DUI death. Mexican illegal charged with killing Indiana man in a DUI crash. Daniel Matias was found deceased in a heavily damaged vehicle. The other vehicle was empty. Officers located the driver walking less than a mile from the crash site. Cernet Crisanto Pablo Hernandez. Wow. Was charged with leaving the scene of a vehicle crash that resulted in catastrophic injury or death. Yeah. The absolute worst mothers come from Honduras. Yeah. Yeah. It depends on the actual building code and if it's enforced by the corrupt building officials. Yeah. Maybe we should give them justice of wherever they came from. Just drop them into Cold Street. Leave them out a while to make a point. Could be. So investigators obtained security footage. They show that he struck the car and he's seen getting out and walking over and then walking away. He illegally re-entered the country in an unknown name. So he's been deported previously. And then he illegally re-entered. Well, it's the guy he killed. Complexion, nothing. Sex, male. Date of birth. He's a white Hispanic. So he's a white Hispanic or Latino from Mexico. Contra Costa County, California, legal alien arrested for murder. Border Hawk says that a man was arrested for stabbing a California father to death in front of his home. Marcos Irete Valdez, it's an alias, was arrested on Friday. He's being held on a $1.1 million bond. They placed a detainer on him. He's from Venezuela. He's charged with murder, inflicting corporal injury on a spouse, 3 counts of burglary. He was arrested for illegally violating a home detention monitoring rule. So this is a guy, more on the story coming. This is a guy, if I'm not mistaken, video of the broad daylight attack. This is a guy who just got released. He got released by some judge and it went.
The chilling surveillance video captures the deadly attack outside of Martinez's home Thursday evening. 68-year-old Todd Stewart was stabbed multiple times on Francis Court. Neighbors say he had been working on a project in his garage. Stewart died at the scene.
I'm still processing because I still expect to see him over the fence. It's nowhere as bad as his family because they lost the father, they lost his wife, lost her husband. And they finally were spending more time together because they're now both retired. They were traveling.
Investigators say they were able to quickly piece together who they were looking for. 36-year-old Marcos Iriarte Valdez.
Through using automated license plate recognition technology, we're able to locate.
Oh, automated license recognition technology. Do you know what that means, folks? They're talking about flock cameras. That's another reason I wanted to do this tonight, because we've been talking about the flock cameras and all this stuff, and they're really pushing hard to try to say how we need these flock cameras. Check her visa too. Yeah, she sounds like she came from Eastern Europe. Yeah, come on, people. That like button works. It helps. How would you know if a criminal is here if there's no application or vetting? All are sus. Prove me wrong without any paperwork or prints. I agree, Jonathan. I agree. And I'll ask again, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. We're really trying to make this channel grow and get some traction, to bring more like-minded people together. You don't mind if it gets criminals. Yeah.
Kate, what ultimately became that vehicle and understand kind of where it had been. Simultaneously, we were receiving tips from the community from people who recognized the vehicle.
Police tracked the vehicle to the suspect's apartment complex on Ashwood Drive, where a SWAT team arrested him at his home Friday night on suspicion of murder.
By and large, it was without incident. Once they established contact with the suspect, he was cooperative and came out front and surrendered to the officers that were there.
Police haven't identified any known connection between the two men. Stewart's neighbor said his widow noticed the suspect's car outside their home before the attack.
She seen him sitting in a car, and she thought like maybe he's visiting, maybe he's waiting, and she saw him there like some time before, like an hour before, so he's been there for a while.
Police say court records show Iriarte Valdez was already facing burglary charges out of Orinda and had been arrested just days before the killing for violating home detention rules.
And then on August 5th, he was ordered release on his own recognizance and then referred back to home detention. Our understanding is that he didn't have the home detention monitoring equipment placed on him until the day after the homicides.
The suspect is being held on $1.1 million bail.
I'm glad they arrested him, but as I said, it won't bring Todd back. I wish they did not release him day before.
Yeah, they released him the day before this happened, and he was supposed to be on home monitoring, but they didn't put it on him. That's California for him. Loudoun County, Virginia, a man on detainer arrested for rape of a minor. So this guy, Moctezuma Romero, is currently in Forsyth County, North Carolina jail being held as a fugitive. He raped a minor. Rape of a minor under 13. He's a white male. Go figure, another white male child raper. His name is Noah Romero Moctezuma. Yes, looks very white to me. Looks very white to me. We got to do something about all these white rapers. This must mean when they talk about white privilege. This must mean what they talk about. You get to just rape people and get away with it. Illegal alien arrested for stabbing his girlfriend. A previously deported Mexican man is facing a slew of charges for stabbing his girlfriend in Dallas, Texas. Officers opened fire on Isidoro Melo Munoz, who refused to drop the knife and fled on foot. I think it's supposed to be foot, sparking a 24-hour manhunt. And the suspect ignored the orders to drop the knife. Suspect turned himself in this morning. Charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. White just ain't right. You ain't kidding. Wood chipper comes tonight. Yep, with shackles. They had a dog looking crazy. Yeah. They need to go after Newscomb and hold him accountable. Yes, they do. Look, it's Houdini. That's right. Forsyth County, 1 mile from you. Wow. The demon rats will fight for this guy. They love the wife-beating, murdering gang members. They do. They do. They'll go have margaritas with them. Yeah. Officers open fire. Wait. Fire those cops. They missed. That's right. Wait, Jim. Doesn't that make him white, the last name? Sure. Definitely. Munoz. Definitely. Like Frankie Munoz, right? Maybe he's related to the guy that wasn't he the star of the Wonder Years, Frankie Munoz? He re-entered the country at an unknown date and time. He was deported in 2012. I tell you. Miami-Dade, man arrested for impregnating a teen. This guy, Hernandez, was arrested for lewd or lascivious battery. This guy right here, Hernandez, he impregnated a teen. And I'll bet money he's another white guy. Look at, yes, another white male. Oscar Jesus Silva Hernandez. Sexual battery, impregnating a minor. The victim and her mother is the father of the baby. Defendant interviewed post Miranda warnings where he confessed to having consensual sex with the victim while she was 13 years old. So he's out here impregnating 13 years old as a white male. Definitely a white male, right? Definitely. Beaufort County, South Carolina, man, a detainer for negligent death. Gregorio Tenuzo Sanchez, abuse and neglect resulting in death of a vulnerable adult. Yes. Beaufort County. It says here, H. White, Latin Hispanic male. How is it H. White? What they trying to really screw with this here? He's H. White. He's Who White. Huwite. Who White. Man on detainer arrested for attempt murder in Miami-Dade. Yes. Yeah, this guy. I think this is a Jamaican guy, right? Ian Reed. Another Jamaican. He brandished a knife. Fought the guy. He's either Haitian or Jamaican. Fled on a scooter. That's the previous one. So that's the illegal alien crimes. All those teenage pregnancies are cultural. Yeah. That's pretty fly for a white guy. If he impregnated a teen, why is he not charged with rape? It's a good question. Munoz was Malcolm in the Middle. Okay, Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah, okay. Just look at him. Clearly not white. Yeah. I remember at least 3 years ago, a legal alien drove his red SUV into a crowd of parade members. The media said a red SUV did it. No mention of the criminal legal driving. Yeah, it's crazy. They get away with murder also. I'll take the previous one since he was listed kind of correctly. Correction, Frankie Munoz is from Malcolm in the Middle and is now a stock car driver. Okay. What did I say? Wonder Years? I don't know. So my brother Reed, is he white too? Sure, definitely. Definitely another white guy. Definitely. All right. On to the next story here, folks. Canada announces a dollar-for-dollar retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. Canada has announced it's countering Washington's tariffs by imposing dollar-for-dollar counter tariffs to goods amounting 27 billion Canadian. That's only 20 billion U.S. The new tariffs announced by the Canadian Finance Minister Francois Philippe Champagne, increasing the cost for imported American goods. The new tariffs will have real consequences for Canadian workers, businesses, and communities. Oh, well, there you go. Canada must respond. Champagne promised $7 billion in federal support for businesses affected by the tariffs. The announcement comes after talks between Ottawa and Washington collapsed because Carney is being led by the globalists. Maybe it's his white privilege keeping him free. It's possible. It's possible. So American steel and aluminum products, which were formerly subject to a retaliatory tariff of 25%, will now rise to 50% as well. Canadian steel and aluminum are currently subject to 50% sectoral tariffs by the U.S. Ottawa has published an extensive list of items that will be affected by the counter tariffs. Champagne said the vast majority of projects affected by the tariffs could be substituted with a Canadian product. So Canada has been ripping off the United States for decades, and the Trump administration is done letting them get away with it. So last week, the U.S. offered Canada the most preferential market access of any country on earth, with deep cuts on steel, aluminum, autos, lumber, and more. Instead of partnership, Canada chose unreasonable demands, walkbacks, and flat-out rejection. We should make it 100% now. We should actually make it we're not going to protect you anymore. You better whip up a military quick. So Canadian Industry Minister said the items Canada is targeting are specific to put political pressure on Washington. We're also targeting products that will target states in the U.S. So they're purposely targeting products that will affect states that are in play for the midterms. Oh, what do you know? That sounds like they're interfering in our elections. Thank you for covering all these news stories about the illegals committing crime. Well, I try to do it every couple weeks. O'Leary said the trade war won't last long because the U.S. needs the uranium and potash from Canada. Potash. Well, we'll see. When you choose a Canadian product, you're not only putting pressure on the U.S. right now, you're protecting jobs. Oh, good for them. Canada doesn't have any bauxite mines. All bauxite used in the country is imported. Screw Canada's aluminum, just import it into the U.S. and make it. Yes, they are. Jim, I hate them. Yes. So, Ottawa said it will protect the supply management system while defending auto tariffs. After the talks failed, Carney said it was due to last-minute changes. The U.S. says, no, it's not. You're lying. Washington disputes this, saying Ottawa backed away from commitments at the last moment while rejecting Carney's characterization, calling it a political move. Yeah, they're doing this. The Democrats told them to walk away. This is who you can thank for this. This is the Democrats talking to Canada. The Democrats are probably talking to Iran, too. Mm-hmm. Hey, look at that. We got a $5 donation on Cash App. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jonathan Marcus, for the $5 on Cash App. That puts us at 89 away from the first additional hour and just 39 away from Bellavision. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Wow, we've been going an hour and 20 minutes already. That's crazy. I didn't realize it. We're going that much, that fast, so long. It's because we don't put the French on products going to the UK colony. Yeah, that's what we said. We're not going to do it. We have some military people talking to Putin right now. Probably. Oh, yeah, well, love the like button. That's right, hit the like button. Yeah, well, it's a secret meeting. Was John Ratcliffe, the head of the CIA, went over to Russia to talk to some people, but it wasn't secret very long.
Tariffs, dollar for dollar.
A deepening trade war between the U.S. and Canada, once again driving up the cost of goods crossing our northern border. After the Trump administration imposed a 50% tariff on many Canadian products, Canada hit back today with import taxes on billions in American-made goods. Our Nancy Cordes now on what's behind the fight and what could be next.
Of course we'll fight back.
Canadian officials fired a shot across the border today, announcing a plan to hike tariffs on hundreds of U.S. goods, from dairy to dishwashers, starting in 2 weeks.
Canada will match the United States tariffs, dollar for dollar, rate for rate.
The feud between the U.S. and its second largest customer exploded this weekend after Canada pulled out of trade talks, calling President Trump's demands unacceptable. Trump responded today by threatening to rename one of the Great Lakes from Lake Ontario to Lake America, warning, quote, "We don't expect to be doing much business with Ontario any longer."
Why? Why is he doing this?
The premier of Ontario province told CBS News the price spikes from this trade war will hurt workers in both countries, especially in Michigan.
We buy 400% more autos than anyone in the world, and they're going to get laid off.
Even Trump, who insisted we don't need Canada, admitted hours later that we do.
We need aluminum in this country. We don't have it. We get it all from Canada for the most part, and we need it badly.
Canada's government announced plans today to expand jobless benefits and business loans and income support as it braces for this trade war. It's a sign, Tony, that they're expecting an economic hit that could last a while.
Well,
as a neurologist, my patients.
No. So, yeah. So Canada announced these tariffs. We'll see. I don't see it. I don't see how they can win. I don't. They need us way more than we need them. Next story here, we got leftist Obama judge Indira Talwani goes completely rogue, spits in the face of the Supreme Court and rules the Postal Service's complete non-compliance with her block on mail-in ballot security rules. The Supreme Court already put a stay on it. Like, what is she nuts? So the Obama judge Indira Talwani escalated her war against President Trump's election integrity agenda. Just one day after the Supreme Court upheld for now the executive order and the new Postal Service rules, the Obama radical judge just ruled that the Trump's Postal Service had violated her earlier injunction. She's going off aggressively, accusing the Trump team of complete noncompliance. This is pure judicial warfare against the American people and against free and fair elections. Talwani's injunction, entered earlier this month, explicitly barred the defendants from implementing or giving effect to any of these orders or otherwise initiating or completing rulemaking. On Friday, the United States Postal Service completed the rulemaking process. They sent a final rule titled Ballot Mail for Federal Elections to the Office of the Federal Register with an immediate effective date of August 21st. The final rule itself nods to the injunction that states the Postal Service will not take any action to implement the rule. That wasn't good enough for Talwani. She blasted the defendants are ignoring her explicit direction to not initiate or complete rulemaking. She even accused the administration of having feigned complete compliance with the earlier related injunction in California v. Trump when the case went to the Supreme Court seeking emergency relief. This is crazy. Accordingly, despite the defendants' protestations, the United States takes its obligations to comply with the court orders very seriously. This comes one day after the Supreme Court granted a stay on Talwani's other injunction in the California case, allowing them to move forward on key portions of the executive order for now. Talwani's going full activist. She's calling out complete noncompliance, even as the final rule makes crystal clear it won't be enforced until all the injunctions are lifted. She opposes no remedy. No order striking the final rule, no further restrictions, just identifying the violation. She even agreed with defendants that the plaintiff's request does not change the current landscape. This is just nuts, man. Supreme Court determined the Trump administration was likely to prevail on its argument that the Democrat-led states lack standing. The majority also found that the lower court's injunction was inflicting irreparable harm on the federal government from preventing them from even initiating the rulemaking requested by the president. The final regulations require federal ballot mail envelopes carry official election mail markings. State election officials would submit voter information through a federal ballot mail portal. What's up? Yeah, of course. It's crazy. Just came on. Should be 50 million. Yeah, get them all out. Get them all out. Video at the article bottom. Repeal the 19th. Impeach all foreign-born judges and write an amendment restricting ever seating another one. Yeah, this is another foreign-born judge. Indira Talwani. So the Postal Service said the regulations were designed to improve ballot tracking. So the Talwani's previous decision expanding her block nationwide. Then over the weekend, he ordered them to defend the regulation by 8 a.m. Tuesday, nearly 16 hours earlier than the plaintiffs themselves requested. Talwani blamed the post office for the compressed schedule and declared the agency had created the emergency. That's not how it works, lady. The Trump administration filed an emergency motion asking Talwani to reconsider her injunction or stay it while the government appeals. Talwani said she would address the request in a separate order. Supreme Court's already removed one judicial roadblock standing in the way of Trump's mail safeguard. I mean, like this game that they play with multiple lawsuits, with multiple injunctions, especially when it's the same fucking judge issuing the injunctions, to me, something needs to happen. Like these judges need to be basically removed. Like this can't happen. They need to go file a frickin' articles of impeachment already. Hey, what's up, Jason? Hope you had a great day. You're doing call-ins on Saturday? Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to do call-ins whenever we hit the go. I mean, Saturday we'll probably do them anyway, but we'll see what happens. Because I don't know. Saturday's going to be a different show because I'm not going to really do like because I'm going to go for several, a bunch of hours anyway. So maybe we'll just do like, I don't know, figure something out. Like maybe I don't like to do like shots for every like so much money, but maybe I will. It's all a drag out game. Yeah, it is. Someone is paying or influencing or digging into our bank accounts. It could be. You absolutely ban the foreign judges. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Because then we got stuff like this happening. Got an Ohio man charged over graphic threats to kill President Trump. Yeah, start impeachment proceedings. Yep, get rid of them. You tar and feather the treasonous judges. Yes, we need to make tar and feather great again. Yeah. So this is Randy Fine. I guess it's the guy that they threatened to behead him or something.
I was on my way to a campaign event in Flagler County in my car, checking my personal email, and this popped up at around 9 o'clock in the morning on election day. I've gotten a lot of death threats in my time in office over 10 years. There's actually 3 people who've been arrested, prosecuted, and convicted for making them. But this one probably takes the cake. It was so graphic. It says, "I'm going to murder you. I'm going to cut your head off. I won't stop." I mean, you can see the message. There's, sometimes these people write them in these kind of cutesy ways where it's an implication. I mean, this was graphic, detailed, and specific. It was, I reported it immediately. I unfortunately have learned what the difference is between a nasty message and a death threat. And this clearly was a death threat. I don't know what this person's motives were for writing this, but it's someone not from Florida. So, this was not a local constituent that was upset. And so, yeah, I do think members of Congress need more security than we oftentimes get. I don't know anything about the person. So I know they're from Ohio. I don't know what they look like. I don't know anything about them. It sounds like a message from someone on the left, because, usually there's an element of anti-Semitism in messages about me. This doesn't include that. But they also talk about, killing President Trump, which also would be kind of a theme that we see on the left. I should say this. I'm incredibly grateful. Law enforcement acted immediately, both federal and local. They arrested the guy, I believe, within 36 hours. They were able to track him down and arrest him. And I'm incredibly grateful to the U.S. Attorney, the FBI, the Capitol Police, and all the law enforcement in Florida who took this seriously. The bottom line is, don't do this. Don't write messages like this to elected officials, Republican or Democrat. You want to call us bad people? Be my guest, but do not do this sort of thing.
Yep, don't do it. Don't do it. So, an Ohio man was arrested by the FBI after making graphic threats against a Republican congressman and calling for the death of President Trump. Yeah, if you're going to do something to someone, why would you talk about it to others? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Dems like to F with the citizens with lawfare. The Senate has neutered the will of the people. Yeah. Randy Fine should grab a baseball bat and show up at the guy's house. I don't know how we vote our way out of this. These people are insane. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know if voting our way out of this is possible. I really don't. I hope so. I don't want it to go the other way. I really don't. Oh, just let a legitimate threat on a Dem show up. It'll be a 5-minute loop for a month. Yeah, totally. So this guy, Alex Justin Miller, sending a true threat to Randy Fine and his family. A copy of the message obtained by Fox shows Miller called Fine and his family Nazi Fs and said he would burn their house down. It's crazy. Miller was charged with interstate transmission of a threat to injure by a U.S. attorney in the Middle District of Florida and faces 5 years in prison. The incident was investigated by the Brevard County Sheriff's Office and the FBI with assistance of the Secret Service. Dear fat piece of shit stain, I can't wait for you to take a trip to your home and light the place on fire. Oh, you can't say this stuff. He said death to them and Trump. Wow. He said he received a threat via email. He said, I don't know what the motives were. Well, the motive seems like he doesn't like you. Miller looks like a Charlie Manson follower. This guy that did this. Is that his name, Miller? Wow. Oh, yeah, here we go. Ohio man charged with making a threat. Alex Miller. He does look like a Manson.
Now, an Ohio man is behind bars accused of threatening to kill a member of Congress. Federal prosecutors announcing the arrest of 26-year-old Alex Miller of Columbus, Ohio. FBI investigators say Miller emailed a representative threatening to kill them and their family and then burn their house down. The email also called for the death of President Trump. Now, the affidavit did not name the congressman specifically, but it did say that victim reported the email to the Brevard County Sheriff's Office in Florida. Miller is facing 1 count of threatening to injure.
Wow. So if convicted, he faces 5 years in prison. Wow. Here's another local story here, real quick. Oh, an error has occurred. Oh, you don't only play it because of the blocker. So it is what it is. All right. Next story we got here is a federal judge slaps down Ghislaine Maxwell's petition for a new trial. Rest in peace, Dolly Parton. Yeah, rest in peace, Dolly Parton. Fine is Jewish and conservative. Yeah. Reps can have extra security, but only if I pick who gets it. Yeah, there you go. What the heck? What is it? And it's crazy, right? Alex Miller needs to get life. Looks like a loser. Brevard County, dude, wrong county. You fuck. Yeah. How did Lady Graham do? I think she won. She was in the lead. Did you say rest in beef? No. If you want to rest in beef, though, chaotic, good barbarian, you should check out the King of Biltong at www.biltongusa.com and check out some of his beef, because his beef is the best beef. And if you use promo code Jim, you can save 10%. That's right. You can get, all types of stuff. You can get all types of stuff. You can get ribeye steaks. They have chicken. They have sausages. They have hot dogs. They have smoked sausage with queso or jalapeno. They have, cakes, snacks, candies, and cookies from around the world, and they ship it right to your door fresh. All their beef, their biltong, they got, if you like a little spicy, they got peri peri. If you like a lot of spice, they got ghost pepper or Carolina Reaper, and they also have both kinds, Wagyu and Angus, and they ship it right to your door. So check them out, biltongusa.com. Use promo code Jim and save 10%. Master troll, Jim. Oh, I got you. Don't worry about it. Good show, Jim. Take it. Keep chopping. I'm trying. South Carolina, 70% reporting. Darlene Graham, 52%. Ralph Norman, 47%. Yes, perfect segue for the Biltong plug. Man, you should teach Cynic how to set up jokes like this. Well, I tried. He just don't listen. Erica parents Israel with Maxwell parents also. I'm kind of confused by what you mean. Yes, please hit the like to stream. It's the algorithm on Rumble and everything. Oh, thank you for all your hard work for us. Well, I try. You guys, I appreciate you all being here. And I appreciate the donations, and I appreciate the likes. I appreciate everything. I really do. And speaking of which, we've already been going an hour and 40 minutes. When you cooked the meat the other day, I noticed you didn't let me know. I did. I called you. You didn't answer. I went outside and said, Joe, and you didn't show up. 200 watching is 200 likes. It would be nice if there was 200 likes. Trump's endorsement is gold. It truly is. So we've been going an hour and 40 minutes. So we got like less than an hour to go, and we still didn't even hit Bellavision tonight. So I guess we had a good night last night. So I guess you can't have a good night every night. So Bella's just sleeping there. There she is. She's just sleeping away. She wants to go. She wants to come out and play, but she can't. You were hungry too. Well, so let's see here.
When it comes to the victims of this horrible man, we will never not talk to victims. We will never not do everything we can to prosecute anybody that committed any crimes against any of these women. So that narrative is false. We have spoken with over 30 representatives of dozens and dozens of victims since this process started. Any victim, if they're here today, I would encourage them or their lawyers to meet with the FBI. We will 100% investigate. There are no closed investigations. If we learn today, if we learn next week, if we learn next month, that there's an individual that we can investigate, indict, and prosecute out of the Epstein files, you better believe it, we will. And so we worked hard, the hardworking lawyers within the department to do the right thing to comply with the act, and we did, and we'll continue to do so.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome that you feel that way. A federal judge rejected Ghislaine Maxwell's latest effort to overturn her conviction, blasting her petition as lengthy and rambling and finding her claims meritless are almost all frivolous. Judge Paul A. Engelmeyer denied Maxwell's petitions. Check out Biltong sausage with Viva Barnes cream sauce. Yes. For Bella, not for you. I know. I mean, I guess I could give. Okay. Well, here you go. Just for you, Christine. Here, Bella. Here, Bella. All right, that's it. You go back to bed. Thank you. Hail Mods, what's up, Scott? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, sweet Bella. Yep. So Maxwell, representing herself, had moved to vacate her conviction and 20-year sentence, alleging that her rights had been violated. Engelmeyer said the vast majority were procedurally barred because she either raised or lost them on direct appeal, or could have raised them earlier but did not. The judge also shot down her reliance on material released under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, finding that the purported new evidence did not support her claims. Supposed new evidence was largely irrelevant to Maxwell's case.
Federal judge is ordering the release of investigative materials from a sex trafficking case against the longtime confidant of late businessman Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell is currently in prison on related charges. National correspondent Brian Yennis is in New York with this story tonight. Good evening, Brian.
Brett, good evening. Manhattan federal judge Paul Engelmeyer approved the release of all sealed grand jury transcripts and evidence related to the indictment and eventual conviction of Ghislaine Maxwell in 2022 on federal charges for conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to sexually abuse minors. The judge, who previously denied the
she's going to be 10 in April. She'll be 10 years old in April. Super cool pup. Thank you. I think it's bots using the M word. What's the M word? Look at this. Hope this rally works. Rally. Yes, we hope the rally works. Thank you all so much. The $2 now puts us at 87 away from a first additional hour and 37 away from Bella Vision. Thank you so much. Nice. New Mexico lives off of Epstein money. Yeah. Thank you.
Justice Department's request to release these materials was compelled to release the documents by the recently passed Epstein Files Transparency Act, though he warns anyone hoping for new bombshells will be disappointed. Writing today, quote, the grand jury materials would not reveal new information of any consequence, adding the only testimony they, the grand jury, had heard was summary testimony from 2 law enforcement officials, and with minor exceptions, the evidence before the grand juries was already a matter of public record. The Epstein Files Transparency Act requires the DOJ to release all investigative unclassified materials about Epstein and Maxwell, including flight records.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure her father, I can't remember his name, but the guy who basically ran this huge multimedia empire and stuff that supposedly fell off a boat and drowned, and the boat was called Ghislaine. But then he had a complete Israeli funeral, like with all honors and everything like that. That's all factual, you know. So he was probably an Israeli spy, the father. I think so. So she's not a former confidant. She's a child sex trafficker. Disgusting. She's not in jail. It's a lookalike. What minors? Name them. Most I've seen implying they were victims were all over 18. The women have nothing stopping them from coming forward. Yeah, that's my thing. All these women who keep saying, like, do something, and they say, tell us who hurt you. And they're like, it's not up to us to tell us. Well, yeah, it is, kind of. We can't know who did something to you if you don't tell us who it was. We're not freaking mind readers.
Financial records, internal DOJ communications, as well as revealing any entities with ties to Epstein and details about his detention and death in a New York City jail cell.
Yeah, that's what we want to know about. So, to the extent that it's relevant far from exculpating her, it incriminates her and reinforces the correctness of the legal rulings, he wrote. Engelmeyer wrote. The court accordingly denies her petition. What is this one? Oh.
Have you ever been formally questioned by any government authority in connection with Mr. Epstein?
I've never been questioned by any government authority, although I did receive, I believe, a grand jury subpoena request from the Southern District of New York, and I believe from the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Justice. I'm not sure what division, but both of the requests were for the same thing. They were asking for Epstein's estate documents. They wanted to see his will and his 1953 trust, and I believe they also asked for prior versions of some of the trusts, which we complied with and provided.
For the record, is it your testimony? Have you ever been interviewed by any law enforcement agency concerning Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell?
The answer is no, I don't believe I have. No.
Have you proactively ever provided any information to any law enforcement agency concerning Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell?
Personally, no. I know that over the last several months, the estate has provided information to the judge.
So the judge says no. She's tried to get a new trial or tried to get her evidence thrown out, said her rights were taken away, and said they're all procedurally barred. So the lawyer representing Maxwell did not respond to requests for comment. This judge brutally snaps down Ghislaine Maxwell's bid to free herself. Judge rejects her bid to overturn sex trafficking conviction. All right, this story is a very interesting story, this next one here, all right? This one says that the General Services Administration, the GSA, has uncovered more than $13 billion in fraud involving federal contractors. We know she was murdered. Okay. But I like to think Epstein is dead and she is locked away. If Mossad had used their honeypot to put Slick Willie and Hillary behind bars, I'd be much less PO'd. Yeah, they could have did that. They could have helped us out, right? There's nothing new under the moon, sun or moon. Yeah. He doesn't look in the eyes and then blinked. Who, me? I realize my following comment isn't politically correct, but a lot of these supposed innocent victims weren't so innocent. They were complicit. A lot of them were. A lot of them were. Like some of the people that are out there complaining now were like ones that were named in other suits and stuff as being people who were facilitators. So, yeah. I don't, you know. Here it is right here. Taxpayer funds go in, government fraud goes out to the Democrats. That's how it works. That's exactly how it works. GSA uncovers $13 billion in fraud involving 1,000 federal contractors. This is crazy. Virginia DeFree was murdered. It's Guffrey, I think, not Gouffre. I don't think it's Dufree. I think it's Gouffrey. Government contractors are overbilling the government? You don't say. Nah, yeah. Gee, nothing there looks like a Muhammad. It's crazy, right? Wake up, Epstein's alive and she is free. Okay. No, that guy said he didn't know her. I am so slow with thumbs. Okay. GSA, another Epstein-like story. Put people in prison. No more talking. Call me when a perp walks on TV. I agree. Did you see Candace Owens on Scooby-Doo? I did see that. I did see that one. I did see that one. That was very interesting. I was a little worried about playing it because I wasn't sure if someone would get upset, but I guess we can say screw it. I guess we can say screw it. After this story, I'll play it. I saw Farron said her heart is broken and not her legs over her head. Wow. Farron Balance is upset about Dolly. Yeah. They were trying to blackmail powerful politicians and men around the world. It was a honey trap. I think there might have been some blackmail, but you got to real Epstein's business. What he did, he facilitated arms deals. Like you could look at the people that he was working with, going all the way back, like what he did with when he was at Bear Stearns, I think, right? Bear Stearns. I think it was Bear. Whatever place he worked at, he was on their desk that handled the CIA's bank, which was like all arms deals. He had connections with the British government because of the arms deals that were made with Saudi Arabia and other stuff. Like he was involved in all. He was involved in Iran Contra. And you know when you're doing deals that involve billions of dollars and you get like 1%, 2% finder fee, it's a lot of money. You think 95% of the girls were just for him? That's what a lot of people are saying. He just had a very weird Scooby-Doo. Really, I knew it. Yeah, we'll watch it in a second. It was Leverage. Yeah. So GSA has uncovered $13 billion in fraud involving contractors. South Carolina is closer than it should be after Trump's endorsement. Yeah, he was an arms dealer. Yeah, he was a facilitator for an arms dealer. Dolly rocked that cowboy cheerleader outfit a couple of years ago. Yeah. Sex trafficking underage girls to powerful men for Mossad. Okay. So the administration said it identified the fraud by reviewing government contracting data, public records, and information from inspectors generals. The effort began in March as part of Trump's government-wide crackdown on fraud. Let this serve as a warning to bad actors thinking of stealing from the federal government. We will catch you. We will work with law enforcement to ensure your arrest, and we'll do everything in our power to help recover every dollar you stole. Well, that's good. That's good to know that they'll do that. It is. Force said the contractors falsified records and misrepresented themselves to steal from taxpayers and hurt legitimate businesses competing for federal contracts. Anyone who lies their way into receiving taxpayer dollars is putting their business, their reputation, and their freedom at risk. We're going to get you. You can't fight the law and the law win. Or you fought, the law won. Yes, you fought the law and the law won. South Carolina with 78% reporting. Darline Graham is 53.2 and Ralph Norman is 46.8. This review covers COVID-19 spending, SBA program, contractor eligibility, bid rigging, cybersecurity-related false claims, bribery, and other contractor misconduct. The GSA cited 2 cases to show how procurement fraud affects taxpayers and legitimate federal contractors. One involved $73 million in suspected fraud tied to federal contracts reserved for service-disabled, veteran-owned small businesses. So these people were pretending that they were service-disabled veterans getting business contracts, and they were ripping off the most vulnerable people out there, the people that need it most, our heroes, patriots who were, harmed, injured in the line of duty, and they were stealing from them too. Can we put all of Congress in this category? Yeah, probably. Probably. Right. I missed that one. Sorry. Hold on. Virginia. Got so many links popping up that I can't keep track of them. I'm sorry. Veterans are worse than Somalis. Well, I don't think these are. That's what I'm saying. This was fraud. It wasn't veterans. Caleb Hammer exposed veteran scams. Yeah, but I don't think these were actually veterans. I don't think these were actually veterans. One dude got a cold while serving. And he gets $4,000 in disability benefits. Oh, that's not good. So Broadway Electric, Cornerstone Contracting CEO and president agreed to pay $21.3 million to resolve False Claims Act allegations that they improperly obtained contracts. The government alleged that Broadway and Cornerstone used qualified small business as pass-through entities to obtain contracts they weren't eligible for. Defendants admitted that Broadway and Cornerstone identified contract opportunities, prepared and priced bids, secured bonding, and chose subcontractors and personnel, and primarily controlled the work and finances. The qualifying small businesses generally receive fixed payments equal to between 1% and 3% of the contract's value. Another case involved $44 million in suspected fraud. I will say it just because somebody who was in this business, like in the business of construction business and contracting and stuff, that a lot of times these set asides for these like minority businesses or small businesses, they can't actually do the job. They don't have the ability to do the job. It's too big for them. So they have to basically get somebody bigger to come in and take care of it for them. And that's what was notorious to happen. Like many a times back in Chicago, when there were like, especially schools, when they had like special, like set asides for like minority contractors to do the work in the schools, we would have to go in and fix it after they were done because they just couldn't do the job. And then it was like, 2 weeks before the school was opening, and we would have to go in there with a crew of 150 people and basically try to whip it into shape to actually get it done. And it would end up costing a ton of more money just because they wanted to make sure that the minority contractor had the job to begin with. It's kind of crazy. Same thing happened with the 911 center in Chicago. We had to go, I spent 3 days straight working there to fix it. You're about to be a volcano. Well, that's awesome. You're going to blow. I think the most outrageous scammer was the dude who got insomnia while studying in the Army college, quit with $3,000 in benefits. Oh my God. There's scammers, not actual veterans. There's fraudsters in almost every part of the government. Yeah. The veterans have been stolen from in every which way conceivable. So they allege they worked for Sierra Nevada consulting firm where they participated in 3 government contracts. The contracts involve the Army, the GSA, and Special Operations Command. Oh, look at this. We got 10. Thanks for all you do. Greatly appreciated. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for the 10. That means we are now just 77 away from an additional hour and 27 away from Bellavision. Joe said, or if they do the job, they do a shitty job that's been litigated since 2024. Wait, I made that too personal. Yeah. Michael says, I am a disabled veteran. I can honestly say the VA does a really good job. Doug Collins has been great. Everyone I know, I don't go to the VA or anything like that, but everybody I know that goes says it's been better these past couple of years. So they called it for Graham. Okay. The government alleged they evaluated and obtained approval for the products in his government role while recommending the company's products as a consultant. The DSA said it was referred to suspect fraud cases to the Office of Inspector General. Stopping all federal fraud requires the work of every federal agency, and the GSA has more than stepped up to the task. Yes, thank you for your service, Michael. Work's amazing for actually disabled veterans, but the most never seen combat get free money. Yes. Tellurico in Texas took over $11 million from Reid Hoffman, I read today. Yeah, he's getting paid from one of Epstein's best buds. Kind of crazy. These people all like to talk about Epstein, but yet Reid Hoffman was like hanging out on the island all the time with them after he was convicted and everything. Yeah. Joe says the VA is not like it used to be. I'm worried about when Trump is gone. A Democrat, was complaining about Trump stiffing contractors years ago. Trump didn't like the job they did, and they sued and got pennies on the dollar. They probably couldn't do the job. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're a general contractor, a person like Trump was in his business, you have to hold people accountable if they don't do the job. Otherwise, you'll go bankrupt. They did a major software update 4 years ago and moved to a new digital record system. True dat. Work, and Trump had to pay someone else to work. Yeah, if you got to pay someone else to do the work, you basically don't pay them the rest of their money. That's what you do. Today's announcement shows just how broken our federal procurement system is. It is really broken. All right, here we go. You guys are gonna do this real quick. Candace Owens joins the Scooby-Doo gang.
Now it's time to find out who you really are. It's Old Man Smithers. He was the one haunting the amusement park.
Not so fast. There is no evidence.
It's Candace Owens. What do you mean there is no evidence? We tied him up and unmasked him.
But there is no high-definition video of him putting on that costume. I think this was a setup. We need to bring in Erica Kirk for questioning.
Who is Erica Kirk?
She's a patsy of Israel. That's probably who is behind this all.
Oh no, not Israel.
Israel? You mean that tiny country in the Middle East full of Jews? What would they care about an amusement park?
The owner of the amusement park was probably about to condemn Israel's genocide, and they wanted to put a stop to it.
Genocide? This is just a bunch of anti-Semitic nonsense, and you're just wasting our time.
Wow, you really care about this, Fred. I thought you were a member of the Aryan Brotherhood.
Why does everyone always assume that?
Your theories don't make any sense, Candace. No Scooby snack for you.
I would never touch that goy slop. Don't worry, Old Man Smithers. I'll clear your name and get you freed.
But it's true. I was haunting this amusement park to shut it down so I could buy the land. And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for these meddling...
Israel. Yes, Israel is always meddling in things, but we'll stop them.
So is anyone going to explain how that dog can talk?
That's another good question for Israel.
Pretty good, huh? And Brian Ogden with 25, thank you so much, activates television for the evening and puts us at only $52 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, Brian. Yeah, the VA became a complete shit show during Biden with LGBT and DEI initiatives. Yes, it did. Dumb, very dumb. She made it to F up. Yeah, very good. Ha ha. Love you, brother. Thank you. Jim has become my number 3 favorite streamer. I won't be happy, chaotic goodbye Barbarian, until I'm your number 1 favorite streamer. What do I got to do? Mr. Winters, that's right. You're dying. It's great. No Scooby snacks for Candace. That's right. I've escaped the truth with jokes. That's what I'm doing. That's what you always got to do. That's right. That's what you got to do. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it. Everyone comes through it. I guess F. Racket's wife. What? Oh, no. I think that still might be 2 spots ahead of Cynic. There you go. As long as I'm ahead of Cynic, that's all that I care about. So, all right, you guys heard about the stuff going on in Indiana, right? With Gary, Indiana's been without power. And so my good friend Anthony Cumia says that rule of thumb, if you want your area serviced in a timely fashion, don't shoot at the linemen. Shots fired at NIPSCO vehicle during power restoration efforts in Gary. The incident comes as thousands of residents enter a 5th day without power. No place in India was hit harder by the August 11th storm than Gary, a mostly black city on the southern tip of Lake Michigan. That's right. Yeah, Candace would think they were laced with Israel. That's right. Well, thank you. More than 8,600 customers are without power. Yeah. Gary, Indiana blackout exposes the left's race hustle. Gary, Indiana went full dark for 2 weeks after the storm. Activists blamed are blaming racism for delays in getting the lights back on. But there's one glaring problem with the theory. Let me guess. Is the glaring problem that the city is completely controlled by African Americans? Is that the problem? Or is it that that it all is? 11th till when? What do you mean? They're still out of power there. It's been 13 days or 14 days with no power. I'm sure it's all Israel's fault somehow. It could be. I think the Israelis don't want it. They deserve it. Fuck them. So. Oh, look, the linemen look like they're all minorities. The people who own they're on the board are all minorities. The mayor is a minority. All the city councils, all minorities. Yes, not 5 days like that post said. Must be older. Yeah, the post is older. Wow, look at this Grizzle McThornbody with a big 50 spot. Wow. That means, folks, we are now just $2 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Just $2 away. And I don't know if you guys remember from last night. Thank you so much, Grizzle McThornbody. But if we end up hitting 200, hitting the second hour stream, I will activate the phone lines if anyone wants to call in if we hit the second hour. I mean, the second additional hour. If we hit 200. It might have something to do with shooting at the people. Just throwing it out there. Well, yeah, how can you expect them to restore the power when you're shooting at the guys? They've been full dark for many moons. Yes. Thank you so much, Grizzle McThornbody. It's amazing. Amazing. You are awesome. Yes. We are family. Thank you for supporting the show. Yeah, so thousands of Gary, Indiana residents are still without electricity 2 weeks after a violent storm system swept through the area. Leftists are claiming that the failures to get the power back on in this predominantly black suburb of Chicago is the result of racism. But there's just one problem with that theory. Everyone, and I mean everyone responsible for keeping the lights on is black. The thunderstorms on August 11th ripped through the Midwest around the southern tip of Lake Michigan and left more than 373,000 people without power. As of August 23rd, around 8,600 were still waiting, many of them in Gary. That's right. To hear liberals tell it, the fact that so many residents are still in the dark is just another example of anti-black racism. Charvon says the 2 is paid, and it is.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Thank you so much, everybody. Sylvia with the 2. Thank you. Charvon with the 2 on Cash App. And Brian Ogden with another 2. That means, folks, we are now just $96 away from adding a second additional hour to the show and activating the call-in section. Call-ins. Activating the phone call section. If you guys like that. I don't know if you guys like the call-in section or not. I'm never really aware, but thank you so much to everybody. Shame, because if you look at Gary back in the day, it was a nice place with a beautiful theater. Yeah, it was really great. This seems a lot like church. I don't know what that means. Like, we're going to pray? Or church? South Carolina, another state that can count their votes in one night. It's crazy, isn't it? Collection bowl going around. Oh, well, I don't like, that's the thing. I feel weird about it. But, everyone send money. I'm off work. I definitely will call in tonight. There you go. Yeah, name it racist and shoot at anyone trying to fix it. Can't write that crazy comedy. It is crazy. Lucky number 7. I live off what I did years ago. $2 is all I can do. Yeah. To hear the liberals tell it that the fact that so many residents are still in the dark is just another example of anti-black racism. In a since deleted post on X, a user going by the handle Black Jesus wrote that Gary, Indiana has been without power for 11 days. It's 75% black. Yet another example of environmental racism. They're shooting at the people trying to restore the power. Another good sermon, good sir. I don't. Last night's call-ins were fun. I need you to keep talking. It's soothing to sleep to. Well, I appreciate it. I really do. That's the thing. I don't want it to be like I'm begging, but if I don't say something and people get mad when I just end the show, when they say like, oh, you didn't tell us and blah, blah, blah. So it's like one of them things where it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If I don't bring it up and say something about, we're going to, that where we're at as far as the goal goes, then it's like, I'm not doing not doing you guys, the proper service. You're great. Well, thank you. Candace Owens is an unnamed part of the squad. Oh, it's possible. So, but it wasn't just random social media users spreading the narrative. That's right. Bernice King, the daughter of civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr., alleged on Facebook that the power outage in Gary is part of a pattern. Black communities have too long been expected to endure conditions that would be treated as intolerable somewhere else. We're expected to survive the neglect, absorb the loss, and help ourselves and wait for urgency to arrive. Thank you. I provide a service you like. Well, thank you so much. Jim, relax. Is nature the beast? I feel bad. I can't donate more. Not your problem, man. I don't want to beg. That's the thing. I don't want to be like a beggar. So, yeah. As it turns out, NIPSCO, the utility company, did respond with urgency. The only problems, residents began shooting at the NIPSCO utility trucks. Hey, what's up, Bill Vick? Thanks for being here. Great to see you. Glad I don't work there restoring the power. Yeah. So an NBC affiliate said NIPSCO vehicle was struck by gunfire Friday night while utility crews worked to restore power in Gary, Indiana, prompting restoration efforts to be temporarily paused. We need a new term like self-victimized racism or something. Well, it's like that. It's like that meme. You've seen the meme of the guy riding the bike, and then he throws the stick in the bike, and then he falls off the bike, and he goes, racism. And then the person goes, hey, that's my bike. It's like that meme. So it seems the utility company wasn't ignoring Gary because its residents were black. It was forced to pause power restoration efforts because its crews were getting shot at by the very people they were trying to help. Kind of like if you remember back in the riots of 2020, when they were cutting holes in the fire hoses when they were trying to put the fires out at the businesses in their neighborhoods. It's crazy. Heads up, homie G, Gulf of America dogs and shit, hurricane in the works. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to take a peek at that. Seriously? Seriously? Hurricane in the works? Where are we at here? Where are you at? Here we go. Oh, I see something. Yeah, there is something off the coast there. We'll have to see. It's way out there. It's the first one. Who knows? I have to keep an eye on that one. It's like 2 weeks off in the Atlantic off Cape Verde. Okay. Yep. It's not named yet. It's not even a storm yet. It's just it's a area of interest right now. So then don't beg, scream at us that we are pay pigs and we owe you for your time. No, you don't owe me. And I would never call you guys pay pigs. And I won't do that. No. Jim spends a lot of time doing the show. His time is for something. At least we can do his show that we appreciate it. Yeah. I don't, second one, first one went north. Yeah. It's still so far off that it might jerk up and go north. It's way out there. If named, it'll be Dolly. Yeah. Jerk. I'm a jerk. Oh, I'm sorry. Not you, him. Okay. So the racism narrative gets even more absurd. NIPSCO was acquired by NiSource, one of the largest fully regulated utility companies in the United States. Lloyd Yates, the president and CEO, is black. So are Melanie Birmingham, the group president for utilities, and William Jefferson, NiSource's chief operating and safety officer. So the people in charge of every person in charge of this utility company is black. So, in other words, the three officials, supposedly racist utility company that doesn't care about black people, are responsible for power to Gary, are all black. They're all black. So, moreover, all 9 members of Gary's city council are also black. Yet somehow the race hustlers want Americans to believe that the fact that the city is without power is some sort of racist conspiracy against black people. NIPSCO, really? NIPSCO? Yeah. Well, they were going to call it the Network of Integrated Gary Power Systems, but they thought that NIGSCO would be a problem. Instead of NIPSCO, if they called it NIXCO, it would have been a problem. would have been a problem. Conservative commentator Kira Davis pointed this out on X. Gary is considered the bluest city in America with nearly total Democrat support. So everyone there is at the mercy of criminals, the weather, and chronically incompetent local government. It's poor leadership and disengaged population. It's not racism. It's apathy and thievery. But the analysis was apparently unconvincing for Tennessee Democrat State Rep Justin Pearson. Oh, yeah, this is the guy who puts on his best Malcolm X impression. He's already blaming the outages in Memphis following the storms on racism in Memphis. As readers may remember, Pearson is the same Democrat who was expelled from the Tennessee legislature back in 2023 after he used a bullhorn and joined with protesters in taking over the Tennessee House floor, blocking official proceedings. It's crazy. He later won re-election to the same seat, however, is running for Congress in Tennessee's 9th district with the backing of prominent progressive Democrats, including AOC, and Ayanna Pressley Ali, and Summerlee. Summerlee makes me feel fine. These crazy woke broads doing all my time. Good news, though, Jim, is it's El Nino year, so the strong winds in the Gulf will destroy more storms. Hurricanes hate winds from Mexico. They tend to eat the big storms. Yep. Joyful American Power System Company, not much better. Yeah. So after a thunderstorm, 100,000 households in Memphis are without power. It's 90 degrees outside. Working class cities left in the dark. Like, wait, so he's complaining the next day about a power outage. Dude, every time you backed off your joke, what was your joke? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? I don't know. Maybe I missed it. Super El Nino. Data centers are building nuclear energy already. Yeah. So much like Gary, Memphis is almost entirely run by black officials. The city's mayor, the CEO, the police chief, 7 of the 13 city council members are black. The idea that the city is failing to serve its residents because of conscious or unconscious racism by white people against non-white people simply doesn't hold water. Doesn't hold water. Additionally, there isn't even much evidence that city officials and utility companies are doing a poor job in restoring power. As of Monday, about 35,000 customers remain without power, down from a peak of 140,000. This is Memphis. Maybe it's racism, but racism black on black. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they don't like, maybe it's like, oh, that's a high yellow. I don't like them. I don't know. The response is in some corners of the left to power outages in Gary and Memphis exposes the intellectual bankruptcy of the reflexive racial grievance narrative. No, I deleted before posting. Okay. Yeah. When something goes wrong in a majority black city, progressives reach for the racism before bothering to ask what actually happened. The result's not merely dishonest, it's destructive. By blaming every failure on some vague, omnipresent force of discrimination, Democrat leaders surrender all agency and conveniently absolve themselves of responsibility for crime, incompetence, crumbling infrastructure, or ineffective government. That's right. Yeah, Edison. Yeah. We was electrical engineers and shits. They should be able to figure it out then. At the same time, instead of demanding answers from politicians who actually run these cities, liberal voters and activists blame an abstraction. This is how failure becomes permanent. Accountability disappears, excuses multiply, and the same politicians remain in power while the problems only get worse. That's true. That's true. That's true. Here's CBS. Northwest Indiana residents demand accountability as NIPSCO expects power to be restored by Tuesday night. This is just crazy. Who accountability to who? You're the voters. 2 weeks after the storms hit Indiana, more than 2,800 homes were still without power. NIPSCO has estimated restoration to be completed by 11:59 on Tuesday, but stressed that not every single home and business will necessarily have power by then. That's crazy.
When you're sitting in the dark like that, it starts to impact your mental health. Yes.
Gary resident Nkosazana Boyd, like many of her neighbors, struggled without power for 13 days before her lights came back on. Struggling to find a charge, even finding unspoiled food during that time.
You just watch your life just crumble and you're just fighting to survive.
She, like Gary resident and state rep Vernon Smith,
And I've served food to those in need,
say even though they have their power back, they say NIPSCO needs to be held accountable.
and they failed here. I mean, the truth hurts.
State Rep Smith is concerned NIPSCO may not have done enough to maintain its power lines and clear trees, like the thousands now piling up on Gary's streets and sidewalks before the storms. He also says he's frustrated by scenes like this, when our crews saw power crews sitting idle last week without assignments.
I'm sure they did not have a productive plan. I'm convinced. And they would have to prove to me otherwise.
NIPSCO says the August 11th storm, along with severe weather in the days following, impacted approximately.
I mean, everybody in the Midwest that owns a home needs to have a generator. Anytime a tornado can come through and rip shit down, and you need to have a generator, even if it's just a small generator, like, you know, a 7 kVA or 7.5 kVA, something like that, 12 kVA, something that you can hook up your refrigerator and run, you know, stuff like that. Have some electricity to charge stuff, keep your food frozen. You need to have one. They're not that expensive. They're a couple $100. They run on gasoline. You know what I mean? They're not, or propane. I mean, shit, for $1,500, you can get one that would, for any one of these houses, because they all don't, they don't have that. The only thing electric really big in these houses that they have are their air conditioners. Most of them have gas power, so they have gas stoves, they have gas dryers, they have, you know, gas water heaters. So they just need a little bit of electricity for their air conditioner and their refrigerators and stuff. So they could get for like $1,000, $1,200, one that would run their whole house. Makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. And generators are not that expensive. No more elections scheduled tonight. End of results. Thank you. Hurricanes are low pressure systems that repel by high pressure systems at this time. A high pressure dome is sitting over Texas. The dome is causing high temps and no rain. Yes. This is not fighting to survive. Yeah, if they had homeowners or renters insurance, most of that is covered if they stayed in a hotel. Yeah, the entitlement's off the chart. You're kidding? Like, oh, we got to just sit here and wait. You got to do stuff for yourself, man. You do. You have to be prepared. What the fuck are these people going to do if there's a solar flare that wipes out the grid? Or something happens where there's no power for months or years? I mean, we are one, don't they realize we are one solar storm away, one Carrington event from being a year or two without electricity? Like, yeah. If the same storm that hit back in the 1800s that lit, like, you know, telegraph lines on fire hit now, yeah, we got problems. And there'll be big sections of the world with no power at all, no refrigeration, no nothing. You've got to be prepared for this stuff somewhat. You got to have some kind of preparedness. Yeah, you can't survive because I have no power. Yeah. I need to run my generator. I'll probably do it this weekend. Yeah. Just like Indiana local governments not to have emergency plan for flooding. Yeah, it's crazy. I just want to be a victim. Our generator's on wheels, but it's huge. Of course, I live in Florida. Yeah, everybody should have a generator in their house. Some kind of something. They have solar ones that you could put outside that charge a battery bank that you could run shit on. You know? Yeah, always disconnect your breaker before you hook your generator or you'll fry your power worker. Yep. That's why everyone should at least have a week's worth of emergency food in a camp stove. Yeah, you should have at all times. At least a week's worth of emergency food that doesn't spoil, you know, because what happens in an emergency? We didn't have generators for years, not until the 90s. We just lived fine. We lived just fine. Yeah. Watch the governor's runoff. Pres may go 2 for 2. Okay. Oh, geez, they need to experience a hurricane. East Texas was without power for 6 freaking weeks. I was without power near Houston for 4 weeks after Ike. Yeah, I had no power for 3 weeks after, I think it was Irma. Do you have a solar system? No, I don't have solar power. No, I have a generator. I looked at solar for my house, but the amount of money it would have cost for the battery banks and stuff like that. The grids are getting old. Yeah, the grids are getting old. They really are. We have a gas generator. Yeah, gas generator is the way to go. Last year, I lost everything in my freezer and fridge twice due to a hurricane. Another sure to a hurricane. Yeah. Well, you gotta have some kind of get some 5-gallon buckets of water with lids and keep them full of water. Yep. You want to have water. You need to have water is a very important thing if a hurricane or something comes through, because your water is not, you're not going to be able to drink water that you have coming out of your tap. So you've got to have like cases of bottled water. You've got to have 5-gallon, jugs of water, buckets, because you'll need it for everything from washing dishes, to cleaning your, all types of stuff. Luckily, I have a 40,000-gallon water supply in my pool. I want a whole house generator so badly, but 20K is out of my budget. Yeah, they're very expensive. And where the problem with the reason I don't have like a permanently installed one where I live is because they wanted $15,000 just for the permit to bury the tank to hold the propane. And I was like, no, I'm not paying that because, EPA regulations. So you got to pay for this permit to bury a tank because we're right next, I'm on the water. I'm like, we have emergency water in case of an earthquake and a bag at the door for first hours. Yeah, that's great. Definitely.
374,500 customers. As of 11 a.m. today, about 700 people were still without power, most in Gary, Portage, and Lake Station. NIPSCO, which has repeatedly denied our request for an on-camera interview over the last few days, says no outage is being overlooked and no customer will be left behind.
If you don't learn from your past experience, you have that disease that I call stuck on stupid, SOS.
Wait a minute. What happened?
No! Download for free today.
University of Maryland Global Campus is
happened?
a global community.
We help each other through our journey.
One of my skills that
What just happened? They put another commercial in here? Are you serious? I can't believe they put a second commercial in here. I wanted to hear more of this stuff. I'm sorry, people. Well, while we're waiting on this frickin' thing, I'm going to update the goal on YouTube to another hour. We are currently 96 away from a second hour and a call-in show if you guys want. So I updated it. There you go. Let's just hold on. My phone is making noise here. Sorry. Here we go. Oh, look at this. Somebody, I don't know who this is. I don't want to say your name. Hold on a second. I don't want to say your name. We're going to fast forward this.
To me, otherwise.
NIPSCO says the August 11th storm, along with severe weather in the days following, impacted approximately 374,500 customers. As of 11 a.m. today, about 700 people were still without power, most in Gary, Portage, and Lake Station. NIPSCO, which has repeatedly denied our request for an on-camera interview over the last few days, says no outage is being overlooked and no customer will be left behind.
If you don't learn from your past experience, you have that disease that I call stuck on stupid, SOS.
Utilities never take this long to restore service after a major storm. So it's quite unprecedented and concerning to see the lack of initiative.
This guy's serious that utilities never take this long? Like, I spent 3 weeks without power after one hurricane. Another time it was over a week. So in Hurricane Milton, I put up a sign, wrong house to loot. This is crazy. Southeastern Indiana got hit with another tornado. They had power back with 12 hours. Then again, no one was shooting at them. Yeah, that is the thing. So somebody donated $20 on PayPal, but I don't want to say their name because I don't want to dox them. I still can't believe we don't bury our utility lines. Stupid is as stupid does. Well, it costs a lot of money. So, yeah, I don't know. Someone gave 20 on PayPal. I don't know who you were. I don't want to say your name. I don't want to, because I don't recall seeing anything like this out here. So whoever you were that gave the 20 on PayPal, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me see. Is there somebody? Huh. Thank you. Thank you for the 20 on PayPal. I don't know who you were, but thank you. I know your name in the PayPal, but I don't know who you are in the chat. So I don't want to dox you, is all I'm saying with your name. So we're now 76 away from a second additional hour. Thank you so much. Tell it to the victim of Hurricane Andrew in 92. Yeah.
By NIPSCO.
Ben Inskeep with the Watchdog Citizens Action Coalition says the unsatisfactory response is troubling because NIPSCO customers pay the highest electric rates in the state, yet according to state data have some of the worst reliability. Indiana Governor Mike Braun has called for a full investigation into NIPSCO's handling of this situation. Inskeep tells me that process could take anywhere from 6 months to about a year, with a variety of stakeholders being able to weigh in during that process. Reporting in Gary.
I can give you guys all a tip. All right. Here's a tip for everybody. Everyone should have this. Take a bottle of water. Okay. Yeah, whoever it was on PayPal, thank you for the 20. Take a bottle of water, a regular drinking bottle, like a regular bottle, bottle of water. All right. Open it, pour just a little bit out. All right. And then freeze it. Once it's completely frozen, take a penny and put it on top of the frozen ice. Okay. And then you seal it and you leave it standing up in your freezers. All right. You leave it standing upright in your freezer. If you ever are without power, or you ever notice that coin is moved down in the ice, that means you were out of power and everything started defrosting. But as long as that coin does not make it all the way to the bottom of the bottle, your stuff is still savable because it didn't completely defrost. So that is a trick. To do. You get a bottle of, like this isn't a water bottle, obviously, but you get like a bottle of water and then the ice will freeze the thing and you put the penny right on the top and seal it, and leave it standing upright. So that way, as the stuff defrosts and melts, the penny's going to lower. And if you ever get there and the penny's on the bottom, that stuff's got to go in the garbage. It's completely defrosted.
Megan DeMar, CBS News Chicago investigator.
All right. Well, that's an interesting.
Governor Mike Braun has called for a full investigation into NIPSCO's handling of the outage. That process could take up to a year.
Possible measles exposure.
All right. Well, yeah. So Gary Mayor Eddie Melton said that he would not consider the job finished until every customer's power was back on. Some individuals' outages could take longer because of localized damage. And people are getting shot at. Let's see what this is. ABC 7 Chicago, NIPSCO expects all of Indiana customers to have power Tuesday night. More storms possible by Wednesday.
Lucy loves to get away.
So yeah, so they're going to have them fixed just in time. So don't buy a backup generator. No, buy a backup generator. What I'm saying is that you want to know, like, if you lose power, like, what if you're not home, or what if the store, it'll tell you how hot everything got and whether the stuff in your freezer is still good before you can get the generator put on.
Through, and electricity is finally back on for many residents here in Northwest Indiana. They turned on those light switches for the first time today. Today, the lights finally coming back on for thousands in Gary, Indiana.
No, it's not.
We jumped up and down. I came in actually, and I was just like, "Oh, finally!"
Deja Black.
No, the penny is not bigger than the mouth of a water bottle. I could show you. I can go get one right now and show it to you. I have them in every freezer in my house. The penny fits right in it. It's perfect fit. Yeah, we'll use a dime then. But I'm just saying, you're not going to drink the water. But you can put any coin. I guess if a penny won't fit, use a dime. But the penny fits. I have 4 water bottles in 4 different freezers sitting there with pennies on them. I'm just saying a coin. So that way, if as the water melts, the coin will drop. If the coin never makes it to the bottom, that means all the ice was gone. You understand? So what I'm hearing is if you have a penny and a bottle of water, you don't need a generator. That's not what I said at all. All right. A dime. Now it's getting expensive. Well, what's more expensive? Your entire freezer of food or 10 cents in a bottle of water? because otherwise you don't know if the stuff's bad or not. If you buy a shit ton of liquor and smokes, you can trade your neighbors for whatever you want. Or if you could just, you need to invest in lead and copper, if you know what I'm saying. And then you get anything you want.
Beckman sitting in front of her AC today. For the first time in 2 weeks, her home is cool.
I was just having to have my window open every night just to get a breeze. And honestly, that was terrible because the mosquitoes evaded my home.
NIPSCO restoring power to much of Gary this morning, just hours before the restoration estimate. But for some, lights are still off.
My emotions are all over the place. I can't wait for my power to be restored because the first thing I'm going to do is do some washing.
Antoinette Nero, one of the 375,000 Indiana NIPSCO customers who lost power as those storms ripped through on August 11th. Today, brush and debris still piled along roads throughout Gary.
It was so much tree damage. To be honest, I think they should bury these power lines.
Yeah, bury them.
You know, won't happen again.
NIPSCO faces increasing criticism about its preparedness and response. A group of customers has already filed a class action lawsuit, and Indiana's Governor Mike Braun now calling for an investigation.
I do feel that is necessary.
NIPSCO says it will cooperate fully. Its website now shows fewer than 1,000 customers remain without electricity due to the storms. Full restoration is expected tonight.
I just want to say to the workers that I appreciate them. And, you know, even though it felt so long, they still came and did what they had to do. So overall, we have power. So I really can't complain anymore.
And I spoke with one of those utility workers today. His company is here from Jacksonville, Florida, called in by NIPSCO to help restore power. He anticipates that they'll be here for several more days.
Well, that's cool.
So-called budget, so-called.
Okay. So, yeah. So we'll get to that in a second. Let's see here. Sad to see all those trees falling down. Yeah. We got a bullet press for my brother-in-law's stuff. Does that count? Well, only if you have the stuff to press the bullets. You need to get that stuff. Or hear me out. You have a huge feast and eat it all. Most of the crap in your freezer's been there way too long anyhow. Well, that's something you could do if the stuff is going bad. That's the thing. If everything defrosts and is thawed out and it's still good, like still cold, like if you go in your freezer and the stuff's still cold to touch. But the problem is once it thaws out, you don't want to refreeze it. You know what I mean? But so if you go in there and it's, you know, like here's the reason that penny trick is so important is because if you have to evacuate your house, let's say, especially for hurricanes and stuff like that, if you have to evacuate and you're gone for a couple days, you will know when you come home. Like if you come home and power's back on, how do you know power wasn't out for 24 or 48 hours? You know what I'm saying? Because that happens. Then you'll come back and everything's refroze and you don't know. But that bottle of water will tell you that everything in that freezer got defrosted all the way, so it might not be good. So you might want to, you know, throw it all out. Yeah, and battery-powered AM/FM radios. Yeah, you want to have a battery radio. They have the ones that with cranks and stuff like that. If you bury cables and there's a flood, there's zero chance of getting your power on until it's 100% dry. Yeah. You also got a bunch of buckets of survival food. Yeah, I should say this. I've got 3 months worth of food for my entire family stored, like all from Mountain House, basically. Mountain House food, which is good for 30 years. I've got 3 months worth of food. So in an emergency, I'll be okay for 3 months, at least. Some people in chat are just roasting you. I hope most here at least have room temperature IQ. I hope so. Another good idea is get a thermometer for your freezer. Well, yeah, you can do that. I have one, but it's not going to do you any good if you have to leave and come back and then your power is back on and stuff like that. We've got a Tesla solar and battery backups. I recommend our Anchor batteries. Yep. Food that's in the freezer over a year has freezer frost. Yeah. During Hurricane Beryl in Houston, the power lines hadn't been properly maintained, trees trimmed, making everything worse. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. Party at Jim's house. Yeah. I have absolutely zero supplies. Never come over here. Does a 10-pound ham and a 20-ounce bottle of defrost at the same time allotment? Well, technically, here's the thing. Because it's all in the freezer, and the way it works is that the temperature in the freezer is going to lower all at the same pace. So everything in that freezer is going to defrost and melt at the same pace. Because it doesn't matter how big something is, because the temperature, the things that are bigger and frozen are going to keep the temperature cooler longer. So as the heat transfers, everything lowers at the same temperature. Because it's sealed, it's like a cooler. So if you put a cooler in your take a cooler here, take a cooler, all right? Take a frozen water bottle, like a 1 gallon jug of frozen water bottle, like a solid water, because that takes a long time to melt. Put that in there along with ice cubes. And guess what? The ice cubes in that frozen water bottle will melt at the same rate because the heat transfer is spread out across everything. Physics. I have a ton of shelf-stable food. There were no hurricanes last year, but I still buy, yeah. If you think this is roasting, you should watch Ricada stream. I'm good, man. I'm good. But how will the bottle of water and penny keep my power on? What you do is you take that bottle of water, all right, when the power goes out, and you stick it right up your bunghole, and then sparks will shoot out your ears and power your house. Kim and Randy, that was us. Thank you. I didn't want to say your name, but thank you for the 20. Thank you. I didn't want to say your name because, I didn't want to dox anybody, but thank you. Thank you so much for the 20. Oh, yes, popsicles are no longer popsicles are a good sign everything got defrosted. Yes. Mm-hmm. I have live food. There you go. There you go. I'll bring warm beer. Good for you. Me and my former roommate tried to stick to some paracord and threw it over a dead branch to yank it down just in case it was going to become a missile. There you go. That's not a bad idea. Since you have 3 months of food, you won't mind me when I go there and take your pineapples. Anybody tries to take my pineapples, we're going to have a problem. There's a pork chop in every can. There you go. Breakfast skillet, best Mountain House besides beef stroganoff. I beg to differ. The Chili Mac Mountain House is the best. Chili Mac. Very good. Also, their blueberry granola breakfast. It's very good too. Very good too. My grandpa put pennies in the fuse box. You can do that if you have a fuse box. Ricada likes to play gay 70s show. Yes, he does. He does. He's gotten weird. They make bladders called water bobs you can use to store drinking water in your bathtub. Yep. Yeah. Also, get a filter. It's very cheap. Does the king of Biltong sell pemmican? I don't believe so. Maybe he might start. But since you brought up the king of Biltong, do you know that if you want some good beef at a good price, that you can go to the king of Biltong and you can get ribeyes, you can get biltong, you can get smoked sausage, you can get hot dogs, you can get jalapeno sausage, you can get Boer Wars, Drawer Wars, Cabanassi. You can get all that stuff at www.biltongusa.com. And you can save 10% if you use promo code JIM. They have 8-ounce bags of biltong. You can get peri peri, you can get ghost pepper, you can get Carolina Reaper, you can get regular Angus or Wagyu, and you can send it over to your friends because they're excellent gifts. The chicken pies are delicious along with all the other stuff. And check it out and tell them Jim sent you. That's all to send on Jim's house to get his pineapples. I hope those plates are level 4. That's all I'll say. Does Biltong sell penny water? Yes. Biltong is only a penny today. Yes. Penny, buy 1 penny, get 1 penny free. If you evacuate from a hurricane, you're not in a flood evacuation zone, you're a geriatric patient that requires a medical flight, you lose your Florida Man card. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. When you're in a place that they tell you you're going to have 18 feet of storm surge, you go, yeah, I might want to leave. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. We got one more story about Gary. Residents endure 13 days without power. They're very upset.
Gary residents are making it through another night without electricity. They gathered at a local church for inspiration. And Joni Lum is live in Gary with the story. I would hope that there were also some resources for them as well.
There were tonight. Everyone is going through something here in Gary. People have lost food, money, jobs. Some have home damage. They've been without power for 13 days. The Tree of Life Baptist Church has lights, though, and they hosted an event they called the Power Encounter, with speeches by celebrity pastors and the mayor of Gary. Gary residents might feel neglected by the utility company these days, but the city is getting national attention for how residents have endured hardships with gratitude and grace. Ministers preach that there is a bright side to the darkness that they've lived through. There were literal and religious references to light and finding that bright side. And there were accusations aimed toward NIPSCO. The utility says it has brought in extra crews to repair damage from the unprecedented tornadoes and derecho. But since people all over the country are now paying attention to Gary, Mayor Eddie Melton says the people have the power now.
I worked in NIPSCO for 15 years. It don't take that long to turn on myself. It does not take that long to turn on myself. We met with the executives and I told them, I said, look, what's going to be different? What's going to change? We have a list of demands that we're presenting to them. There should be no disconnections for the next 60 to 90 days. There should be no disconnect notices going after folks. What are you going to do to prepare us for the next storm?
Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for the next storm. It's not the fucking big daddy government's job to prepare the people for a storm. They're there to pick up the pieces afterwards. But you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared to help yourself. What happened to America? I mean, am I being silly to think that some group of people cannot take care of themselves? That they must have the government take care of them? Is that what I'm hearing? That they must have the government help them? They can't do it themselves? They can't be prepared? They aren't prepared for some power to go out? You better get prepared because it's going to get worse in the future. It's coming. It's coming. We are long overdue for a massive solar flare. Long overdue.
Well, residents have been told that everyone will have electricity by midnight tomorrow, but here in Gary, they felt like they were last on the list. There's a little bit of doubt about believing that everyone's going to get their power, but there's also hope, and that's why people gathered at this church tonight. Reporting live in Gary, I'm Joni Lum, Fox Chicago.
Have you been to places after storms? Yes, you are, Jim. The Carrington event. The Carrington event was the last one, and yeah. And it doesn't help either that our magnetic field, our protective field that protects us is weakening. They're tracking it. I'm not making it up. It's not something I came up with. It's not a conspiracy theory. Our field is weakening. So a less powerful storm, the same event, all right, the same event that did the Carrington event, if it was to hit us today, there would be no electricity anywhere on the planet for 2 years probably. Because by the time they get it, it would take a long time because all the nothing has been hardened to prevent a power outage from a solar storm. Like all the transformers will just blow up. And we don't make them anymore. We get all our huge transformers at these distribution centers. There's only one company that makes them, Siemens, in Germany. That's it. We're dependent on the government because people get on TV saying where's the help? Like in 92, Bush was forced to send everyone. It was FEMA's fault too. Don't wait on daddy government. Yeah. That's why these people vote Democrat. There's a lot of people around here that think it's the government's responsibility to take care of them. It's not. I want the government to stay the fuck out of my life. Thursday to Friday is our best chance to get a massive solar flare during the eclipse and the planetary alignment. I'm not going to predict anything, but planetary alignments do cause stuff to happen with the sun. No shit says, I heard that if everyone just has one bottle of water and one penny, we can prevent solar storm damage. Yes, definitely. Americans are spoiled. There are full countries much hotter that don't have air conditioning, period. Yeah. I got to go check wonderground.com for Hurricane Daily. Be prepared. Yeah. I thought they make them in Mexico, not the big transformers. No, Germany, the big ones that are at all the all the distribution centers, where they step down from 26,000 volts to 2650, and that's what's going across your lines. Then they step that down to come into your house. Yeah, those plants, those big transformers that go from the high tension power lines down to just the regular transmission lines that are running around. Those things are not. Those go away. You got problems. Oh, we got trouble right here in Gary. That's right. My bad. It was Ham's beer. Ham's refreshing. Ham's refreshing. Ham's. During the blood moon, too. ABB and Siemens. Yeah. Here we go. Siemens is going to start large transformer production in the U.S. Well, that's a good thing. The ones they use in the transfer stations. Yeah. Substations. Yeah, the substations. I only worked on 26K once for Seattle Light Rail. I want to pull this story up just because. So yeah, Siemens Energy to start large power transformer production in the U.S. They're expecting to start production of big industrial power transformers in 2027. Charlotte Siemens is expected to start production of the big industrial power transformers in 2027 and could further expand its Charlotte factory if demand and import tariffs stay high. The company makes more than a fifth of its sales in the U.S. market, where it employs 12% of its 100,000 staff. The company expects $2 trillion investment in the dated U.S. grid by 2050, fueled by surge and power demand. This time we expect a longer boom cycle for grid expansion than the usual 2 and 3 years. The market's very positive. The company said in May it expected U.S. import tariffs to cut less than $100 million from a group net profits in 2025. So that's really good news if they're going to make them here. The problem, though, is that if it's a massive power, like I was saying, like a solar flare that wipes everything out, how are they going to make them when they don't have any, from the power plant? All right. Got this next story here. Breaking news, a judge betrays America. Activist District Judge Solomon Oliver Jr. blocked Ohio's proof of citizenship to register to vote, effective immediately. And he's blocking it for the 2026 election. He's way out of line. Every state needs proof of citizenship. He says, not this state, not me. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. And just real quick before we get into that, just so everybody knows, oil prices are down $8 since Friday. It was $88 a barrel. Now it's $80. So it seems like there might be some movement, some good stuff happening. The plan is to make 24 the first year, up to 57 units a year after that. How many, Gundam? How many are in the entire U.S. grid? 1,000? 1,200? More than that, right? A lot. There's a lot. 17,000, 15,000, tens of thousands. I mean, there's at most there's usually each. I'll put it this way: each like major, power company has 1 to 2 backups. That's it. On hand. That's it. Trump just paused all visa applications after the Moscow meeting. No clue if it's related. Wow. I have to take a peek at that. So U.S. judge blocks Ohio's law requiring proof of citizenship. This is crazy. District judge on Tuesday blocked the Ohio law requiring residents to present proof of citizenship when registering to vote. And the latest setback for allies. The decision by the Cleveland-based judge Solomon Oliver marked a defeat for the Republican government ahead of the November 3rd midterm. Competitive race for Senate in the states considered critical for Demon Rat hopes to win the Senate. Trump and Republicans and state governments across the country are pushing for more election security measures. I'm not going to say restrictions, based in part on widespread voting of non-citizens, because we've saw that they have been. Democrats and voting right advocates counter that U.S. non-citizen voting is rare. No, it's not rare. It's not rare. Governor Mike DeRino signed a law requiring people to present documents such as birth certificates or passports or naturalization certificate when registering to vote while applying for a driver's license, which everyone buying, here's the thing that everyone getting a driver's license has to present a fucking birth certificate. They have to prove who they are. And that's what they use. There's 2,000 EHV large power transformers rated at 100 million megavolts or more. A total of LPTs, including the 60 megavolts and above, likely in the tens of thousands. Yeah. Did the California governor sign the Nick Shirley Act? I think so. They've been trying to steal Ohio and Indiana for a while now. Yeah. So advocacy groups say that like the retired Americans sued to challenge it. And they're saying a 1993 law that sought to expand voter registration, but it still have to be legal. So a judge, an appointee of Bill Clinton, wrote that the law succeeded in expanding voter registration. And so now if you want to demand citizenship proof, you can't do that. So the Office of the Attorney General did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Trump has unsuccessfully pushed Congress to pass a nationwide law. Yeah, it's Congress for some reason. Newsom did sign it. Yeah. I hear that law could affect finding voter fraud. I don't know about finding it. You're talking, the Newsom law? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Newsom signed it. He did. Oh, yeah. Judge blocks the law requiring citizenship proof to vote. It's just crazy. Just crazy. Just crazy. It's insane. Just insane. Just insane. And then this is not good news, kind of, that the feds consider criminal charges against the ICE officer accused in January shooting a Venezuelan immigrant. Be right back. Okay. Hold on a second. Because Texas governor refuses to extradite the guy.
By Minnesota authorities, I should say, which to fail. That is what Texas Governor Greg Abbott told the judge yesterday about Minnesota's bid to force the extradition of an ICE officer arrested in Texas. ICE agent Christian Castro was charged in Minnesota by Minnesota authorities, I should say, with shooting a Venezuelan man earlier this year during Operation Metro Surge. Right now, though, he's being held in a Texas jail, and Abbott says he is not going to hand him over. Let's bring in CBS News immigration correspondent Camilo Montoya Galvez. Camilo, thank you for your time. What more are we learning about this?
Hi, Mugo. Good morning. As you noted, this case centers on ICE officer Christian Castro. He was involved, as you noted, in that high-profile shooting of a Venezuelan immigrant who was accused of being in the country illegally in Minneapolis during
He was in the country illegally.
Controversial Operation Metro Surge in Minnesota earlier this year that, of course, garnered a lot of national attention. Castro, importantly, was suspended by ICE by the Trump administration earlier this year after that operation, after the agency said that it found that his statements that he was attacked by somebody with a broom and also a shovel, and that was the reason that he shot allegedly in self-defense, proved to be inaccurate and false. And then he was subsequently charged by prosecutors at the local level in Minnesota with 4 counts of second-degree assault, Mugo, and 1 count of falsely reporting a crime. Prosecutors say that he shot into that occupied home in Minneapolis. He struck that Venezuelan immigrant in the leg and then essentially lied about the incident. He's been in local custody in Texas since the charges came out. But so far, Governor Abbott, as you noted, has refused to approve or act on that extradition request for him to be classified as a fugitive and then transferred to Minnesota to face that local prosecution. Minnesota is now asking a federal court in Texas to basically force Abbott's hand and order that extradition to take place and to be undertaken by Texas officials. But now Texas officials are arguing that they have serious doubts about whether Castro can be legally classified as a fugitive, because they say, Mugo, that ICE has provided the state evidence that he was forced by the agency to relocate to Texas after that shooting, that he didn't go there to flee. That is the argument from Texas, at least. So this is the latest legal battle between a blue state and a red state over immigration, and obviously a very politically fraught issue, Mugo.
Yeah, certainly seems that way. We'll see how it plays out. Camila Montero Galvez, thank you so much.
I don't care if he was
AI
a
can turn your lights
good
on.
boy. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. That's right. He didn't do nothing. Look at this. Brian for 5 says, let's go for a call-in. Well, that means we're 71 away, folks. 71 away. From adding, thank you so much for the 5, from adding some money, from adding another hour and adding call-ins. LA insanity vids, separate mob storm. Oh my God. You guys know this is not about the Venezuelan that got shot. This is about intimidation and forcing agents to quit if they're subject to prison for doing their jobs. That's all this is. Yeah, that's totally what this is. Totally what this is. But, you know, Greg Abbott is not standing for it. He's not. So, federal prosecutors are considering bringing charges against the ICE officer who's accused of shooting the Venezuelan immigrant in the leg. The officer, Christian Castro, was charged in May by local prosecutors. Attorney General Keith Ellison sued Abbott, arguing the state's move was unlawful. There's a federal hearing to determine whether Castro will be extradited. One possible charge being explored by federal prosecutors is a civil rights offense, which makes it a crime for someone to act in capacity under color of law. So, 2 men, Alfredo Alejandro El Horno and Julio Cesar Sosa Sazas, was charged in a federal criminal complaint with forcibly assaulting, resisting, or impeding officers. The federal charge against 2 men were dropped after the Justice Department said it uncovered newly discovered evidence that was material and consistent. Now, I wonder if the people that did this dropping were like leftover Biden people that are purposely fucking around and doing this. Christian really made me mad. Okay. You and me both. I'm from northern Minnesota. Why are Venezuelans in America? It's a good question. I'm so sick of Somalia. So the potential criminal charge of lying to the government would stem from false statements Castro made when he shot Sosa Silas in the leg. So he said the 2 officers, including Castro, were placed on leave after review of the video evidence during the incident indicated they provided untruthful statements. From early on, however, the government's account of the assault has not been consistent, mixing up 2 immigrants and even adding another man to its version of events. So the guy fled the scene of a traffic stop, but in an affidavit to support the charges against the men, the FBI said El Horno, not Sosa, had fled the scene in the car, and that Sosa Silas was the one who initially struck the officer with the broomstick. The FBI alleged that it was El Horno who broke free and started attacking the ICE officers with the same broomstick. The affidavit said the officer had poor or sporadic lighting and had difficulty seeing the assailants. After a cell phone video from the moments after the shooting was shared online, a woman appears to tell a 911 operator her husband was chased by ICE agents before he reached his home and was shot in front of his family. So they're going off of what some woman claims that happened. The fuck, man. What the fuck? That fucking Minnesota knows that was a federal agent doing his job and the law covers him. It's about intimidation. No spouse is going to say, keep going, don't worry. No, they'll say quit. Yeah. So in April, another ICE officer was charged with assault after pointing a gun at 2 people on a Minneapolis highway. That officer fired a motion last month to move his case from state to federal court, arguing his status as a federal officer grants him the ability to be tried at the federal level. But yeah, he's got immunity. This is crazy. Oh, over 100 arrested for trafficking in fentanyl. That's crazy. That's crazy. In Portland. Well, Local news. Fox 9 considers weighing whether to charge the ICE officer. Oh, is this? Who is this? This looks an awful lot like this fucking clown.
Be adventurous. Be curious. Be hungry for.
No, be whatever you want to be, but don't be it with me.
Following something else, Paul, that you have been following very closely is this extradition conversation that has been happening involving this ICE agent in Texas right now. But the incident happened in Minneapolis. This was during Operation Metro Surge. So what was it? Friday? Was it Thursday or Friday? We saw Attorney General Keith Ellison. You know, he put out to where he wanted him to be extradited. We also saw the Texas Governor Greg Abbott also respond and basically say, you know, at this point, we're not. He wasn't interested. So just sort of walk us through what has happened and where we are today, because there is something that happens at 1 o'clock, right?
1 o'clock down in Brownsville, Texas. So we won't be in the courtroom. We'll be monitoring it from afar. But yeah, you did a good job summarizing. So back in January, height of the surge, basically between the deadly shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, there's this non-fatal shooting where this ICE agent fires into a home. He's chasing 1 or 2 Venezuelan immigrants. He's alleged to have lied. He said he was attacked with a broom, pole, and a shovel, and fired into the home, struck the one immigrant in the leg. Non-life-threatening injuries, but he was eventually charged. Mary Moriarty's office, Hennepin County Attorney's office, has filed charges against Christian Castro, which is rare that an ICE agent for on-duty, behaviors is charged criminally. And he was arrested on a nationwide warrant down in Texas back at the end of May, and he's been in a border town Texas jail for almost 3 months now. And there's a 90-day window where a fugitive, and that term is going to be important here, where a fugitive can be held without being extradited in Texas. And that 90 days expires on Thursday. So if Governor Greg Abbott, who's a Republican, who made very clear last week he doesn't like Tim Walz, he doesn't like the politics of Minnesota, he blames Minnesota for the fraud that brought ICE here. Sounds like at this point he doesn't want to sign any extradition paperwork and help out Minnesota. So Minnesota has filed this federal lawsuit that will be heard today. Two prongs to it. One is to keep Castro in jail, regardless of what Abbott does for the foreseeable future, to allow the lawsuit to play out. The second prong is the actual extradition, like make the governor, it's a constitutional requirement that states recognize each other's criminal justice system. And if Minnesota believes somebody has committed a crime and they're in a Texas jail, Texas has to extradite them back. Governor Abbott is asking for more time to analyze the situation. And here's where I'm going to get at with the fugitive. He claims at this point, he's not sure that by legal definition, that this ICE agent, Christian Castro, is a, quote, fugitive. He points to the fact that he was reassigned by ICE out of Minnesota. He didn't flee any crime. As part of his duties, ICE removed Castro from Texas. So he was never like on the run. He's not a fugitive of the law. There's no indication that Abbott's arguing that he wouldn't show up for court or what have you. So today in Brownsville, Texas, in a federal district courtroom, Minnesota, we have a legal team down there right now, the state of Minnesota. They are arguing for a district judge to, at the very least, issue an emergency temporary restraining order to keep Castro behind bars, at least for now, and then work out the logistics of this extradition. Because Abbott does still technically have one more day to, respect the process. But but Thursday is approaching quickly. It is. And there's some real fear. There's a filing today in the 11th hour right before today's hearing where the BCA, Minnesota's BCA, has analyzed and listened to, with a Spanish interpreter, Castro's telephone communication from the jail down in Texas. He's speaking Spanish. He's speaking Spanish, they believe, to a woman in Mexico who he's calling him his lover, and that they are scheming a plan to go to Mexico and get married. And the state of Minnesota worries that if he is let out on Thursday and he does cross the border, we will never see ICE agent Christian Castro again to face justice.
Oh, wow, that would be terrible, wouldn't it?
And lying for basically fabricating the story that he told in the back end of that shooting. So we'll be watching. I mean, unfortunately, from afar today, the judge turned down my request. I asked if I could dial in and listen via like telephonic technology or Zoom, but the judge said no, you have to be in the courtroom. We're not down there, unfortunately, but we certainly have some contacts who'll be in the courtroom, and we'll check in with them throughout the afternoon to see if this judge issues a restraining order that would keep Castro behind bars. And again, the extradition and the idea. So Greg Abbott says he wants his own attorney general to study this issue. Is Castro, by the definition of the law, a fugitive? And he says that investigation on the attorney general's part is going to take some time. And until that's returned to him, he's not in a position to sign any extradition paperwork that would send Castro back here to Minnesota.
It sounds like this will be interesting to come out of court today.
Well, it is fascinating. As I talk about it, it's like so
a
like
lot of moving
bonkers.
parts.
Yeah, no, it is. But the most important part is right now he's in custody. The question is, will he be there in custody on Thursday?
Yeah, or come Friday,
Yeah, come Friday, or Thursday afternoon. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But interesting stuff in all of this with, federal and state versus state, politics, red versus blue. Texas is a border town, and then this agent was based in Harding, Texas.
Yeah, because I think, Paul, one of my questions was initially what kind of power does the governor have when it comes to any of this? Does he have the authority to
it's unclear,
change anything?
Meaning Governor Abbott in this case. Yeah, no, it's an interesting question. I mean, the state of Minnesota says this is not a political decision. There's no controversy here. Every state recognizes the other's criminal code. And even during this time, Governor Abbott, while Christian Castro has sat behind bars in Texas, has green
That's who I thought it was. That's who I thought it was Vindman. And I'm like, is that Vindman? Is that Vindman? But it's not. Does this dim fuck not know Mexico honors warrants from the U.S.? Yeah, it's just retarded. It's so stupid. I'm from McKinney, Texas. Haven't heard about the Roadhouse. Anyone have details? I don't know anything about it. Something happened at the Roadhouse? What Roadhouse? I haven't heard nothing. Same rat face. Yes.
And signed off on extradition papers for other criminals, charged criminals that he has had in the Texas jails. He has sent them to Minnesota. He is making a point here. Again, he argues that Christian Castro isn't necessarily a fugitive. He questions, again, Governor Walz's reaction, Governor Walz's trustability, the fraud in this state. I mean, he throws a bunch of different things at it. He also says, in theory, he makes a legal argument that this is a case that should go directly to the Supreme Court, that it's not when there are two differing positions by the states, that automatically needs to go to the Supreme Court.
It's called original jurisdiction. Any dispute between the states is the Supreme Court has original jurisdiction, which means they're the only court that can actually hear the case. So this judge, them filing a lawsuit against the state of Texas, you have to go to the Supreme Court. If Abbott agrees to extradition, he should resign 5 seconds later and ICE will cease to be. He should come out and say, it's a feds, go talk to Trump's. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It sounds like Mark Wayne Mullen was being like all going along with it, because when they arrested this guy, they had federal marshals there when they took him into custody. Oh, wait. Roadhouse owner said no blacks will ever be allowed in his restaurant again. So sent sparks from both teams. What happened? Teams of what? What's going on? Hold on. Now I'm going to have to look this up. Texas Roadhouse. So claims of racism. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think we heard enough about this. So here, this was saying, viral post alleges Texas Roadhouse mistreated customers. Texas Roadhouse addresses abhorrent behavior towards diners. let's do this. Texas Roadhouse responds to claim Mark Wayne has been lackluster. Yes. It's an internet thing. Roadhouse employee allegedly, yeah, for tampering with black people's foods. Yeah, I doubt that. These diners got major beef with the steakhouse. The beef behemoth's facing a growing boycott after a TikTok went viral, alleging a Facebook group called White and Proud was targeting black customers. And TikTok posted by user Sandy Renee Yaneri read out loud that white servers were deliberately contaminating food. The user said the Facebook group had 400,000 members where white servers discussed heading back to the kitchen's blind spot, licking their fingers, touching the food. This is just more bullshit. Texas Roadhouse and Logan's Roadhouse were the only restaurants named where the post even claims cooks took part in the allegations. The video has 500,000 views and more than 16,500 comments. Well, what needs to happen is this is another 10 so-and type person. These companies need to sue the fuck out of this person. And total and unrelated news, reservations of Texas Roadhouse doubles. Oh, the hotspot of Facebook. Yeah. Probably Reddit or 4chan. Yeah, this is this lady who's posting this, she probably, I don't know if she's got any money, but these businesses can sue the fuck out of her. So it's a TikTok, Facebook thing? Yeah. So at Texas Roadhouse, we're committed to creating an environment where every guest is treated with respect. We do not tolerate discrimination, harassment, or mistreatment of any kind. Just a day ago, the steak chain posted another statement to TikTok making a more direct remark. We are aware of the video that's being shared with an accusation made towards our restaurants. We believe it's completely unfounded, and we take every accusation seriously. We are investigating this alleged abhorrent behavior. Remain committed to treating every guest with respect, dignity, and a legendary service. We are constantly being targeted. You want to see what this idiot says?
Hey y'all. Let me stop smiling because this shit ain't funny. I have a message for y'all today, and it's from a Facebook group called White and Proud.
So sue the fuck out of this lady. Sue the fuck out of her. The damage has already been done. Customers flock to the Roadhouse post where thousands condemned the chain. We'll never step foot in another Texas Roadhouse ever. Okay, don't go. Another commenter was upset over the Texas chain's second post, calling it out the spot for saying that she claim was unsubstantiated. Saying you believe it's unfounded and saying you'll investigate is crazy. I saw the video immediately was put off. There needs to be firings, a lot of firings. Ooh, some one fucking asshole claimed something, and you, holy fuck, man. A former cook at one of the locations says 100% true. It's an open secret. The post could not find the White and Proud Facebook group in its size or its members. No screenshots or other evidence has been released. There's zero evidence that this group exists. Do you really think Facebook's going to allow a group that says White and Proud? It's not going to fucking happen. Our investigation, along with many outside sources, firmly points this being an online hoax. Sue the fuck out of these people. Every one of them. There's no credible evidence. Several online publications are reported that there's no evidence supporting the claims. Additionally, users who initially amplified these claims have retracted their posts or admitted it was a hoax. Sue the fuck out of all of them. Let's see. Snopes. Let's see what Snopes says. You know, Snopes. I like Texas Roadhouse. Yeah. She looks like she tips. Yeah. I thought that's what the blacks wanted, to not be bothered by the whites. Yeah. So post claims Texas Roadhouse servers contaminated black people's foods. Here's what we know. The claim that white servers had this Facebook group, the rumors circulated in August 2026 stemmed from a screenshot of an alleged Facebook group. In a now unavailable post, someone using the name Nancy Smith derogatorily addresses blacks and told a different secret group, more than 400,000 members made up of servers. In short, someone found no evidence or information confirming or disproving the existence of such group. How are you going to disprove that the group, see how they fucking word this? They found no evidence it exists, but no evidence disproving it. How do you disprove something with evidence? In an August 24th post archived, the Blacks of Egypt group managed by a user who administers one of the White and Proud groups defined the purpose as satirical. Oh. So a Texas spokesperson says, so they shared this rumor. Sue the fuck out of everybody. Let's see. Are they going to rate it? Oh, they're not even going to rate it, are they? They're not even going to give it a rating. Researching the rumor. So you're not even going to give it a rating, are you? Fucking scumbags at Snopes won't even rate it. Wow. That's pretty pathetic that they won't even say it's full of shit. Look how they do this shit. Somebody's got skills if they can hide a group of 400,000 members. Yeah. I worked at a Texas roadhouse for a day. I was the only white person. I'm saying. Yeah, we elected a black president twice. We're not racist. Texas roadhouse has awesome blue cheese. The troll got all the way here. That's pretty good. You ain't kidding. This is so pathetic. So pathetic. Viral post claims mistreatment. They're covering the story. The Facebook post was shared. But the post did not identify a location, a restaurant, and no verified evidence. The post appears to be deleted, though screenshots discussing it continue to circulate. So there's no such post, there's no such group, but somebody made a fake fucking, a fake fucking thing. They're actually, sue the fuck out of every one of them. Sue every motherfucking last one of them. That's what I would do. That's beyond pathetic, man. It really is. I'll still eat there. Yeah, the bread is yummy. You can't prove a negative. Ooh, I can't do blue cheese, but their ranch is so yummy. Yeah. Let's just say it wasn't black people working. I'm sure most of their employees are probably fucking legal aliens. Bottom line. Probably all illegal aliens. You know, that's how they usually do it. Is they get illegal aliens to come in and do the work, and then they pay them, not very much money, and don't hold the taxes back, and don't do most stuff, and then they expect everyone else to just deal with it. But I don't know. It drives me crazy. It really does. It drives me crazy. Ooh, ooh. So the 11th Circuit vacates leftist judge's order striking down Georgia's 2021 map, send the case back under Supreme Court's new Calais standard, demands proof of intentional discrimination. 11th Circuit delivered a major setback to the left-wing legal campaign targeting the Republican-drawn election maps. In an unpublished per curiam opinion, the three-judge panel vacated a federal district judgment that permanently blocked Georgia from using its 2021 maps. See, that's like people... There was a bunch of maps that were drawn after the 2020 census that got blocked because of fucking leftists. It's 2026, and there's still maps have not been redrawn for the new census. Think of that. I wouldn't have asked about it if I known it was going to be this upsetting. I'm not upset at you, and I'm upset that people are actually, that somebody made, that these idiots go out there just trying to be viral, coming up with some fucking story, and they're doing massive damage to a business. There's zero proof of it. Like, they need to sue the shit out of people. Yeah, the maps are still not drawn. Yeah, it's 2026, and we still don't have new maps. So in October 2023, the judge ruled that the 2021 maps violated Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act by diluting the voting power of black Georgians. He ordered the legislature to create one additional black majority district, 2 additional majority black state Senate districts, and 5 additional black Senate state House districts. What? Georgia complied with the court's order and enacted remedial maps, but the state also appealed the underlying judgment. Everything changed when Supreme Court handed down the 6-3 decision in Calais. The decision does not eliminate Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, but the court sharply limited circumstances in which judges could actually enforce these things. The 11th Circuit said Calais significantly changed the legal landscape. Perhaps most significantly, Calais had Section 2 may compel race-based redistricting only when circumstances give rise to a strong inference that intentional discrimination occurred. You know you love the blood pressure story links. Oh, I do. So the court explained the plaintiffs must now rule out the possibility that ordinary political considerations explain the districts that were drawn. If either politics or race could explain the district's contour, the plaintiff has not cleared its bar. Under the new framework, the partisan advantage is treated as constitutionally permissible. So, the Supreme Court's revised test makes several critical changes. Plaintiffs cannot use race as a distinct criteria when preparing their proposed alternate maps. The proposed maps must respect all legitimate state objectives, and they include political goals. Evidence concerning racially polarizing voting must control for party affiliation. Yeah, the 11th Circuit determined that Judge Jones never had the opportunity to analyze Georgia's maps under these new requirements because it was issued after his original judgment. The panel therefore rejected the plaintiff's request to preserve portions of the lower court's ruling. By its nature, the Gingell's analysis is fact-intensive, and those facts may take new shapes under scrutiny of the new Gingell's framework. The foregoing reason may vacate the judgment and remand for district court for further proceedings. The decision represents another major domino falling after Supreme Court's ruling. Yeah, but Georgia wasn't going to do anything for redistricting anyway, if I remember correctly. So Georgia Republicans ultimately rejected Kemp's proposal. In May, the Fifth Circuit unanimously vacated the lower court ruling. Georgia governor called a special session to consider new maps and legislative maps after Supreme Court's ruling, but the rhinos rejected his proposal, pointing in part to the ongoing litigation involving the state's districts. Tuesday's ruling does not immediately establish new district lines or decide which maps will govern. It does not guarantee that Georgia will prevail when the case returns to Judge Jones. But the lower court's sweeping judgment against Georgia has now been wiped away, and the challengers must start again under a far more demanding test that no longer permits partisan politics to be casually repackaged. There you go. So it's an awesome win for Georgia Republicans. This story here, life is too short. Buc-ee's CEO vows that he won't build in blue states that don't appreciate the brand. Good for him. Good for him. The Texas gas station chain Buc-ee's is eyeing more conservative states as part of its expansion across the U.S. Well, that's good for him. That's good for him. That's good news for him. That's good for him. So life's too short to build in places with people that don't appreciate you. So the co-founder, Arch Beaver Applin III, said the opening of a new Buc-ee's in Benton, Arkansas, we have a lot of opportunities. We're growing where people like us. Why would we want to go somewhere they don't?
We have a lot of opportunities. We're growing. We're building in a lot of places. But when you find a conservative, business-friendly state with a phenomenal workforce, it makes a difference. And I'm starting to realize life's too short to try to build in places that people don't appreciate what you're bringing versus a place like this where people do appreciate what you're building. So that leadership, that concept, that idea of conservative, business-friendly, family-oriented concept works so much better if it trickles down from the very leadership, from the very top at the governor's office, at the congressman, at the senator, at the mayor, the representatives. And so what we found when we got here into Benton was a business-friendly town. They said, let's roll up our sleeves and let's go get a Buc-ee's built.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So he's a conservative, business-friendly, family-oriented concept. So the chain features travel centers with hundreds of gas pumps, sprawling parking lots, and large stores. Everybody loves Buc-ee's, right? Buc-ee's is a great thing. Bella is dreaming good. Keeps her running in her sleep. Yeah. Overseasoned horse meat. Oh, good. Ooh, no. Ooh. Well, everybody. Save changes. it looks like we did not make it to the goal for the second hour. I want to thank everybody who was here for coming by. Remind you all to hit the like button. Please subscribe. I'm going to send everybody over to this channel that doesn't have a lot of viewers. So if you want to go over there and check them out and say hi and see what they're saying, if it's funny or not. And please come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time for a show. And remind your friends, Saturday night's going to be a big cavalcade of stars on Jim Tells You. I'm going to have tons of guests, like literally tons of guests. Big fat guests are going to be here. Huge, tons. And it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody. Please check out King of Biltong at www.biltongusa.com. Use promo code Jim to save 10%. And come back tomorrow for Jim to tell you the news.